Welcome to Beach Boys Talk, a live stream show dedicated to our favorite band, the Beach Boys.
Just from your experience, obviously with the guys in
person. But you know that California, that Beach Boys sound. Boy.
Whether you're a seasoned fan or a new listener, there is something for everyone to enjoy on Tuesday nights.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Chad, how are you? How's everybody doing?
We are not experts or historians. We are just two brothers that love the Beach Boys and their music. We bring on historians and authors, current and past band members, and songwriters to bring us closer to the music we all love.
What are you standing here? What are you waiting here for? You know, Brian, you don't have to wait here. Just go in there. You're the brother, man, you know.
Plus, we feature an all-request live platform, so you can hear your favorite songs each week, a live chat so you can connect with other fans, fun games, and of course, the usual shenanigans. So if you're a fan of the Beach Boys, young or young at heart,
get your chatting fingers ready, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
What kept the Beach Boys from being the Beatles? That's a huge, huge question. But I think I've got the answer.
What's
all right.
Beach Boy friends and family? Is everybody here? Matt, can we hear you? Let's make sure we can hear Matt.
Hello, everybody. It's so good to be back. Happy Tuesday.
It's always important that we can hear Matt and we can hear Matt. So, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Welcome to Beach Boys Talk, a live stream show dedicated to our favorite band, the Beach Boys. Just a quick program note. Carrie let us know, unfortunately, today that she was not feeling well, not up for the show, and so we wish Carrie all the best. Hope she feels better, and love to have her on for sure. But hopefully, when she's feeling better, Matt, you were sick last week, so maybe it's my turn to be sick next week. But we didn't want to cancel the show because we haven't had it in a couple weeks now, so it was important to us to keep going. So we pivoted. I think we've got an awesome show tonight. It's gonna be a lot of fun, right, Matt?
Oh yeah. We're not experts. We're just brothers that love doing this show. We're not musicologists. We just love the music. And so we're going to kind of do our usual thing. We're going to have the many moods. We're going to talk about our poll. David Beard will still join us from Endless Summer Quarterly tonight.
Unless David is not feeling well.
Yeah. But then after that, we actually are going to pull an audible, if I can use a sports term. And since October 4th, according to Al Jardine, was the date the Beach Boys recorded their first single, Surfin'. That's really their 60-year anniversary. We're going to kind of do a retrospective of the 60 years of the Beach Boys and only the way, Greg and I know how to do. It's not going to be the most historical thing or anything like that, but it's going to be fun. So I hope you will stick around for that. And before we go on anymore, I do want to say that 2 days ago was a very special day. It was Brother Greg's birthday. So everybody in the chat, please give Greg a happy birthday shout out.
Yeah, I felt like such an egomaniac. I really appreciate all the birthday wishes. It was so flattering and really thoughtful of the amount of people that said happy birthday. So I wish we could do that for all of you. You all deserve that, to have that much love, because we all love you very much. And so thank you. Thank you very much for the kind birthday wishes. It was a nice birthday, and it was extra special because of all the Beach Boy Talk family was there to wish me happy birthday. So thank you.
And on that note, too, I wanted to also thank you all for the well wishes for my illness. I apologize for, being out, but
you were out, man.
I couldn't talk really. So, it was one of those things, but feel a lot better. I got two more things to say, Greg. Sorry. Then I'll throw it back to you.
Take your time.
This unconventional show tonight. I want to give one of our friends online here, John Butler. I want to give him a shout out.
John,
he actually lives pretty close to me, and we had lunch together.
What?
And I recommended he buy the Beach Boys Today Summer Days, Summer Nights twofer. So I hope you're enjoying that, John. It was really nice meeting you. Nice to meet a friend online in person.
Yeah.
We had a good time. And one of the times when I was there at my local record store, I picked this up. Oh, which is really cool. It's in the original case. Sweet. You know, it's kind of a little bit torn and all that, but it's, of course, Help Me Rhonda is one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite song with Al, my favorite singer.
Who's in the tree?
That's Al's up top. Al's up top in the tree. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Funny.
And so think about it this way. This was Help Me Rhonda. And then the B-side was Kiss Me Baby. What a dynamic set of songs there, Yeah, so this was really cool. Crazy. I got this for like $3 too. Very cool. So Anyway, I wanted to share that with our friends.
No, well, as usual, we want to say thank you. Thank you again for all the really sweet birthday wishes. Once again, we're just hanging out. We never thought this would be what it has become, and it's become anything because of all you folks out there hanging out with us and making it a thing. So it's been really fun. And once again, we did not want to miss this Tuesday. It's been too long. We missed you all very much.
Yeah.
We want to thank all of our Facebook pages, all the admins that allow us to post and share the show. Thank you very much. We know it can get annoying with spam and all that. Although I will say that the 20 minutes of no Facebook was kind of nice for a minute. I was kind of like, oh man, I need a break from some social media. But
take a breather. Yeah.
We're very happy that it's back up, and thank you to all of our Facebook groups and friends out there for supporting the show. Big thank you to all the message boards, Smiley Smile and the Beach Boys Today, and our partner. Endless Harmony Forum, Dirk and Michael and Alan, all those guys over there. If you haven't checked out the Endless Harmony Forum, it's a really great place to do deep dives on Beach Boy topics. If you want to get even more nerdier, like we are, like super nerds, where there you can't get enough information. That's a wonderful, wonderful resource.
Yeah, no doubt. And when we do the many moods afterwards, you'll be able to comment. You can always comment in the chat, but you can really do it long form at the Endless Harmony Forum, where I will post my thoughts a little bit later tonight. So make sure you check that out, the Endless Harmony Forum. It's a really cool place to go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as usual, we don't charge it. This is all free. It's all just hanging out. So if you want to support the show, liking the stream, sharing the stream with your friends, if you know folks that might be interested in this, make sure you share it out. We've got Matt. We have officially 2 more shows, and then we're done.
We're done for a little while, right?
Yeah, we're done. We're done for a while. We got 2 more shows. We have an awesome guest coming up. I'm pretty excited about this guest, and then we'll do our season finale, which will be really fun. So we've got 2 more shows.
Well, our guest is on the last one, so we'll have a show next week, and then. Our last show is going to be our guest, is what I'm saying.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry. One of the 2. Yeah. So it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Well, then in that case we've got a lot going on. But we have 2 more shows, and then we're going to take a little break. Go ahead.
So we got 3 more. Sorry, we got the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th.
What are you talking about?
We got 3 more shows.
No, we're off next week.
Oh, we are? Okay. All right, we got 2 more shows.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there, so we have 2 more shows.
I think I missed that. Sorry, yeah.
Oh boy, This show is already going terribly. This is not good. Sean says, Greg, your mic is low compared to Matt's. Does Matt's need to come down, or does my mic need to come up? That's probably a fair question. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. That's it. Matt, why don't we get to the many moods of Matt? My favorite segment. We're going to do our first segment of the night. We do it all the time, where Matt gives us his. Matt gives us his thoughts on a specific topic, his mood. So let's kick into it right now. Hold on, Matt. Let me give you the many moods music here. The many moods of Matt.
In thinking about tonight, we were advertising for our guest, Carrie, who was going to be here and unfortunately cannot be here with us tonight. I saw a comment on Facebook that I thought was really interesting. It was from our friend Abby. I don't know if Abby's
Hi, Abby.
tuning in or not, but hopefully you'll see this later, Abby.
Maybe she'll watch later.
But Abby had a really interesting thought. She said, it would be really nice to have the perspective of a female on the Beach Boys music. And, it got me thinking a lot, because I love the Beach Boys, of course, and when I listen to them, I listen to them because of their harmony, because of the sound of the music, and kind of what it does to me. It's just all over. But when you really step back and kind of think about what Abby said, and I don't know if she meant it this way, but do women think differently about the Beach Boys when you hear some of their lyrics? I start to wonder. Let me give you an example. If I go to work and I say, you know, hey, I guess I just got away with girls, you know, what can I say? I could get in a lot of trouble for that, you know.
And you should. And you should.
If I say I'm going on vacation to see all the girls, you know, in their bikinis, the girls on the beach, they're all within reach. If I know what to do, right, I would be really super creepy, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't act like that, by the way. I'm just saying. But
sometimes.
But the point is a valid one, you know. Do we look, you know, we look at the Beach Boys' 60-year career and we honor it and we really honor the music. Do we ignore, do we ignore that perspective because we're fans? Do we ignore it because it was the culture at the time? Man. And looking back now, are there any kind of really cringeworthy things that maybe the Beach Boys sing about that we wouldn't be so comfortable today? Now, I know that music on the radio today, a lot of the time is very, very, you know, anti-woman, you know, all those kinds of things. So I'm not saying it's only the Beach Boys. I think rock and roll is like that a lot. But I really wanted to hear from our female friends online tonight. And of course, everybody can answer in the chat, but I was really interested in your perspective. Do any of the Beach Boy lyrics where they kind of do those things bother you at all? You know, I think that when I think about it, you know, I'm not a political guy, so I'm not trying to get into politics. It bothers me a little, but when I think about the culture at the time, when I think about what the Beach Boys were trying to do, which was give an image of, you know, the beach, sun, surf, cars, you know, happy-go-lucky times. I think what they were saying in a lot of ways was honest, and what a lot of us think, whether we want to admit it or whether we should or not, you know. And so I guess my question tonight for you all and later on the Endless Harmony Forum is, do any of the Beach Boys lyrics, especially from our female friends, you know, bother you, you know, because of the subject matter? And that's kind of what I want to know tonight, everybody.
The many moons I got to cut that off because that was like a really deep, very, man, that is so my thoughts on that real quickly. First of all, loved Abby's comment because it was really eye-opening, right? Because the Beach Boys community, you know, we just, you know, you just get rolling. You don't think about these kind of things, but absolutely, I think Beach Boys a lot of times are a very male-dominated community, a very male-dominated just group in general, right? I mean, there's just a lot of so when Abby, I think, posted that she was really excited that a female was coming on the show and to get a female perspective, I think you're right, man. It really kind of reminded us that, hey, you know, this music is really wonderful, but you do wonder at times how the females do feel in the community. Do they feel represented? Do they feel respected? Which is tough because so much of the Beach Boys music, you hate to say it, but it is true. It's objectifying women, and you know, so it's tough.
Yeah. Well, let me give it.
By the way, thank you for turning this into a really heavy subject.
Let me give an example. You know, one of my favorite Beach Boys songs of all time, and this was pointed out to me recently, but before I knew this, was "She Knows Me Too Well." It's still one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
I love the harmony. I love Brian's vocal. I love the chords. But
amazing song. Yeah.
But when you listen to what he's saying, it's really about how, and maybe I'm off base here, but kind of how he like emotionally abuses his girlfriend, and she's always okay with it because she knows deep down he loves her. But if you change that perspective from the woman in the song, does that make that song almost like deplorable? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to get too deep, but I think it's kind of interesting to talk about, you know?
Yeah, but I think a lot of this stuff too is taken from a very immature and innocent perspective, right?
Yes.
Because if you think about it, how old was Carl in not that Carl was writing songs, but how old was Mike in 1964? You know?
Yeah, I mean, he was like in his early 20s, but they were teenagers for the most part.
Young.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of their perspective was probably at that time in their lives, probably handed to them in terms of this is how things are. You know, and I think as the music got more advanced as they progressed throughout the years, I think the lyrics started to reflect that progression. But it also doesn't excuse like "Hey Little Tomboy," like that came way later. Like, what are you guys doing? Like that's
when girls
song.
Get together to me is really weird. You know, I just, you know what I mean? Yeah. The lyrics in that song, and you know, again, I'm not trying to be political and things. I was just thinking when Abby said from a female perspective, I was just really honestly curious. Does that bother you? Some of their songs are great. Dance, 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 In My Room. There's songs that are totally innocent and perfect, but there are others that I could see as maybe problematic if you think about it that way.
Sure. Well, why don't we, Matt, why don't we hear from the folks in the chat about this? I think, like I said, it's a really unique perspective that we don't get a lot. And I think it'd be pretty cool to kind of talk it through and see what folks think. And maybe maybe there's things that we can do. I mean, we're a small show. We don't have a huge following, but like kind of bringing on more female guests to help represent. And because Carrie is sick, but let me tell you, Carrie is a badass. She is a badass musician. She's the one. Talking to her this week, she is the one rounding up all of these musicians. And, I mean, she is a force.
Yeah, I'm real bummed she's not here tonight. But she had a lot of good perspective about the music too, which I thought was neat. Not just the lyrical content, but the musical content. Being a violin player and everything, We'll
keep it pretty light, but we'd love to kind of hear your perspective. Just what are your thoughts on this stuff? As people bring it up, or I would just say the Beach Boy community in general. I think take lyrics out of it, if you want, and just say, hey, this is how I feel in the Beach Boys community. Can
I say one more thing, and then we'll go to the chat? It's kind of like the Beach Boys ended up with that Full House era of being, I don't even want to say middle-aged, but a little bit older men. But like the Kokomo video, you have all those girls in bikinis. You have the Rock and Roll to the Rescue video, same thing. And these guys are kind of just looking at them with their tongues hanging out. I just, I don't know if that's ever the image they really wanted. I know they did it to be popular, but I could see why some people would think that's problematic. I never look at it that seriously, but for tonight, we're talking about it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's read some chat. Let's talk to people who know more about or think at least have better perspective on this than we do. I think it's really great. Let's go. Kyle Gray Young. She knows me too well is a great example. He's definitely abusive. He says he's not happy until he makes her cry. Yeah. And you know what? To be fair to the Beach Boys and Mike and those guys, those relationships happen. So maybe that's exactly what they were going for. Maybe they were trying to shed some light on. We can't know what was in the mind of the creator at the time, and maybe writing the lyrics, he was like, man, this relationship happens. It exists out there where people can be emotionally abused like that. And it's really sad. And so maybe that's a positive.
That's right.
Joyce Garrison says it depends on how you dissect each song and what were they thinking about. Exactly. Yeah. So I think it just depends on how it was being approached. Les. Hey, Les. Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Hey, Les.
Hey, Little Tomboy sounds weird in today's context. I think it's a very misunderstood but very awkward song. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Joe Winter says everyone today is offended, not back then, age of innocence. Yeah, Joe, I agree with you that I think people were probably maybe a little less sensitive to stuff like this, but I wouldn't necessarily give everything a pass just because it was in the past, right? I mean, there are some things that, I think, like you mentioned, Matt, hey, little tomboy, I'm going to teach you to kiss kind of thing is a little weird at this point. I don't know.
And I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea. I'm not saying I'm necessarily offended. I was just saying when Abby talked about the female perspective, it made me think about it. Are any females,
idea. This was a bad many moods. Oh, man, we shouldn't have gotten into this. I can't believe it. This is the end of the show.
It's something to talk about,
Denise. Well, like I said, Abby brought up a really, really good book. Denise on Facebook. I think everything can be problematic in retrospect. Yeah, I think you can look at everything depending on the lens. Scott, good friend Scott says in looking through the Beach Boys concert pictures I've seen from the '60s, one of the things that has always struck me time and time again is that the majority of pictures I've seen of the audiences are predominantly female audiences overall. Not that there weren't males too, but it seemed mostly female. In some books I've seen anecdotes that some of the Beach Boys verbally expressed surprise that a few concerts they played towards the latter stages of the 60s were mostly male. As time has gone on, though, it seems like the fandom has shifted to being more male-centric. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Good stuff. Joe says, hey, Joe, music has always sold itself on teenagers and relationships. Like any purchasing power, it lies in the youth. Yeah, it could have been just more about what was going to sell records at the time, and what was going to sell records at the time for them was cars and, relationship attraction, and surfing, obviously.
Yeah.
Claire, I'd love to hear from Claire. Claire's obviously a really good friend of the show and an absolute expert. That does my head in a bit. The girls in the bikinis on stage in videos, but mainly because they're usually in front of Carl and I can't see him.
Oh, there you go.
I love
it's all in your perspective.
Claire, I
right?
love you. Claire, I think you're awesome. I love you. Roadside Fruit Stand, awesome name on YouTube, says, I kind of assume the narrator, and she knows me, is exaggerating a bit about how mean he is, and it's more about him recognizing some of the flaws in his side of the relationship. Man, Matt, in your face. I think that's
great. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's actually making me like the song more. You know what I mean? It's like
it could be him introspective saying maybe I don't treat her the correct way, and I love to read it that way.
I think that's what Brian is singing in that song. I think I agree with that, Fruit Stand. I think it's man, I'm a piece of crap,
Yeah.
And you know what? We always look at it because males are singing the song that but I think it could be from any perspective, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily matters. It's a bad relationship and this person is recognizing flaws. So Fruit Stand, I like that. That's pretty rather than being abuse. Yeah, that's a good. Susan, hey Susan on Facebook. The times were definitely different back then. I am not easily offended. Yeah, definitely. I don't know that anybody, whatever spectrum on, would disagree that I think people are definitely easily offended. There's no doubt about that. But some rightfully so. I think there are obviously examples out there where it can be pretty offensive. Steve says singing in character, maybe not admirable characters. That's a really good point. We have to remember this is entertainment, right? I mean, they're playing a character. They're playing a part. Cindy says writing from experience became their songs. Okay, so that's a different perspective on that, right?
It's kind of a growth. Today's kind of all about, there's dance songs, but that second side is all about relationships, and that could have been what they're going through at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie says this might be a little over analytical. It was simply the format of the day. Yeah. I mean, I guess it was, although I don't know. Did the Beatles ever sing like that? Like
she was just 17 and you know what I mean? But I know it's the format, but that's kind of what I'm getting at. We accept that format as being rock and roll and being okay. And again, I'm not saying I'm offended by it. I was just putting it out there. Like, do we ever kind of look at it and say, hey, maybe some of this stuff is not, not so great, Yeah,
Virginia brings up a really good point. Hey, Virginia, I don't know. Is Virginia new? Hi, Virginia. On YouTube says, when you know the context of I want to pick you up being about his kids, it's okay. Most people don't realize that, though. And so the point there is, I really like this, Virginia, is that, maybe we assume we know the context and we know the voice, but maybe we don't. Maybe we're wrong. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I mean, you never
I knew that about I Want to Pick You Up. That song's never bothered me. It does make sense when he's thinking about in his mind, and the context to Love You, those simple lyrics, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Monza agrees with Fruit Stand for the win. He says that I think that's a great comment, is that maybe it's not necessarily glorifying an abusive relationship, but more calling it out and saying, this is my problem and this is an issue I have. But this person is so loving that they just continue to continue to share that love. I think it's really, really good, really good perspective on that. Let's see. So Steve Standard, Beloved Beatles, Run for Your Life is pretty cringy. Yeah, I don't know Run for Your Life, but
I don't either. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's an interesting conversation to have. I mean, like you kind of mentioned, reading Abby's post was eye-opening, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make everybody feel comfortable, and make them feel like they're represented on the show. Because we care about you. That's really what it boils down to. Matt and I care, and I know that each one of you cares about each other. And so that's what that's all about. It's respect for each other and caring about each other.
I guess one way to say it would be like when you think about early Beach Boys, you think about sun, beach, surfing, cars, and girls, blonde hair, tan girls, and so that's what I mean. That doesn't necessarily mesh with, a female's perspective of those songs,
Yeah.
So.
Andrea Maria on Facebook. Hey, Andrea. I hope it's Andrea, not Andrea. If it's Andrea, I'm very sorry. Initially, it was about surfing in cars, but they definitely shifted to a more mature and introspective sound. They
Yeah.
grew as artists and as men who were experiencing life and love. Yeah, right. And I think that 100%. It goes back to like, look, these guys, they were kids, you know. I mean, it was pretty innocent, and they were probably, like I said, handed perspectives as opposed to developing them, right?
Sure.
I mean, the guys before them, Chuck Berry and, you know, Danny the Juniors and all those guys. I mean, they're all singing about this stuff. Elvis, you know,
yeah.
You know, it's just kind of what they were
Neon.
they inherited, which I think then gives an even, I think, greater value to the music when they did step outside the box. For example, like a Pet Sounds, or even today, and start singing about, you know what, let's sing about something different. Like, why do we have to sing about this all the time? Why can't we dig a little bit deeper? For example, like Here Today, like, or you know, or not Here Today. That's Not Me. Like, you know, starting to look introspectively as opposed to
I Just Wasn't Made for These Times is a great example of that too. Yeah.
And you see the lyrics develop with that. And
Yep.
you know, they had to move away from, and I love Mike Love. I think his lyrics, you know, are fantastic. They match the sound really well. But man, kudos to Brian for realizing that. I think if he was going to get out of that kind of train of thought, he was going to have to go with some different lyricists, you know. And to be fair to Mike, when they needed a hit again, they went back to him, you know, and the, you know, do it again kind of thing, you know. So it's I think there's some give and take there, but really interesting conversation. DJ Detroit, Les says it's going to get to a point though where people in today's world feel guilty for being attracted. Okay, yeah, we probably don't want to get too deep into this. This was probably a little heavy for Beach Boys talk. So Matt apologizes, and I apologize on behalf of Matt for his mood
I'm not
today.
apologizing. I'm just asking.
Absolutely inappropriate. No, I think it's a good conversation to have. But the problem with this conversation, Matt, is it can get really heavy quick. You know, it's just so I think it's good to kind of
Sure.
skim the top of it and understand that everybody's got a different perspective on it, and we want to.
Well, that's all I was saying. I was just wondering if the perspective of a female is ever that way. And I don't know what Abby meant by, a female perspective. I wish she was here to kind of elaborate on that a little bit, you know, but, we all have our different perspectives on songs, and, you know, so it's just the way it is. But again, I love all of them. So, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Karen says, even if girls can't relate to the words, the music is very relatable. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Matt, I think you and I have talked about that before. I am not a lyric guy. I've never been, never will be. I'm just
same with me.
It's one reason why I'm not a huge Bob Dylan fan, is because I don't connect with the words the way I connect with the music. And I think if you were to now, maybe some of the earlier stuff, maybe like I Get Around, if it wasn't about a car, it'd probably be weird. But for the most part, I think if Brian was just writing music, I don't know that I would care about the lyrics at all. I mean, I don't. There's some stuff on Smile that I'm like, oh, that's really clever, but does anybody else feel that way, where it's just, I'm not a lyric person, you know, and I'm not a music video person. how does the music make me feel in this point of time?
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's how.
Yeah. And I said that in the beginning of the segment. I'm the same way. I can turn it on and I hear the whole, like the whole thing, you know, and lyrics are okay, but we've talked about this before. Sometimes there were words I thought they were saying forever, like in Girl Don't Tell Me. I always used to thought they would say, girl, don't tell me you're right, but it's you'll right. You know what I mean? So it never bothered me. It doesn't take away from the song, you know? So I'm not a lyric person either, really.
Man, okay, we got to get off this topic. Let's move on. Let's move a little bit. But just a disclaimer out there, you know, we definitely appreciate all of you so much. And and I'll say this, if any of you think there's something we can do to help make the show more fun and more inclusive and just like, if there's anything, you are always free to reach out, put it in the chat, let us know. Matt and I are always about making the show better and better and better each week. As long as everyone's healthy. We've seemed to have kind of run into the buzzsaw of what is, illness, unfortunately. So really appreciate all of you guys talking through this. It's a good subject to talk about. It's heavy, but I think we can all chat about it respectfully, and I think we did. So, but yeah, Matt, let's skip over to our poll for this week, and let me pull this up real quick.
So the idea of the poll, as Greg's pulling it up, was originally when Carrie was going to be here because she knows the band and was, did a lot with the band preparing for Smile. I was thinking back on some of the greatest Brian Wilson tours. I didn't put all his tours since he started touring, but the big ones, the Smile, the Pet Sounds, the Lucky Old Son, and those kind of tours. And if you've seen any of them, not even if you've seen none of them, which one, if you could only see one, would you want to choose and why? That was the poll question.
Yeah. So this is the poll. I have the poll up on over our ugly faces here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that, Greg. I think I just messed something up. I didn't. Okay. So this was the poll this week, everybody, and we everybody talked about their favorite tour. Matt, what do you think? What did you vote? What did you vote?
I voted for that Lucky Old Son. Actually, one of the reasons why it's personal to me. You and I went and we had front row seats, and we met Brian, and he did this to us. Remember, in the front row, we had a sign. We gave him thumbs up. So maybe I'm being a little bit biased, but the other reason I chose that Lucky Old Son is because it was original music I had never heard before. Or theoretically, I heard the CD, but.
Sure.
People had heard bootlegs of Smile. We've heard Pet Sounds for a long time, but how exciting it must have been for the folks in London to hear that Lucky Old Son, no music, no previews of it at all, to hear the whole thing from start to finish. I think that would be really neat if I could have experienced that,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's cool. I definitely voted for Brian Wilson, Something Great from '68 with Alan Blondie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised that didn't get more votes for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Friends album, I think among Beach Boy fans seems to be a real popular pick, and something we've never really gotten to hear live. It's always kind of been overlooked.
Yeah.
Number two, it was with the Zombies, and I love Odyssey and Oracle. I love that record so much, and I would have killed to see them at the same time. But I'm really surprised that you didn't see more of that. I mean, Brian Wilson Presents Smile was overwhelmingly the winner there. But I was surprised that one didn't get more. And the caveat is I never got to see Brian Wilson Something Great from '68, and I would love to hear from people. If you got to see that tour, give me a little snippet of your time there. I would love to.
And I'll tell you, my first Brian Wilson concert I ever saw was in Kansas City, and it was Brian Wilson Presents Smile.
It was with me.
You were at the Smile one?
Yeah,
I thought you couldn't go.
No, Pete and I drove. Oh wait,
you didn't go to that one. You're thinking of the Gershwin.
No. What am I?
Yeah, because I bought a ticket for you, but then you had a band thing or something.
Oh, Lucky Old Son was the first one I think I went to.
Yeah,
you, right.
And the Smile. At the time I was younger. I didn't know. I knew Smile, but I didn't know it as well. I was just in awe of seeing Brian Wilson, if that makes sense. It was the first time. I think it was late summer because he played Little Saint Nick. He said, this one's coming out of my Christmas album. And they put the lights green and red, and he played Little Saint Nick in the summer. So I remember that stuff more than Smile itself, but it was a really nice experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we hang out with the chat here a little bit?
Yeah.
Chat, what do you think? Give us a story. Tell us your favorite Brian Wilson concert, your favorite tour. Do you guys have a favorite tour at all of these? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because it seems like overwhelmingly Smile was the big one, and I get it. I mean, look, I understand that was pretty crazy at the time. I mean, for him to come out with that and then tour with it, so I get it.
Oh yeah,
but
see the Wave said Blondie Chaplin singing Field Flows was badass. Yeah, I heard him sing that, and I also got to hear him sing Funky Pretty, which was really cool too. And Brian did the part in the middle with I think it's Spanish in the middle or some sort of different language. That was really cool too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Les says Sandy Coakley. Hope they're all well soon. Yeah, I don't know. I hope everybody's well. Man, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Everybody's getting sick. That's not good.
Yeah.
So, let's see. See the Wave, Matt, Greg. Do either of you have the Wouldn't It Be Nice biography? Yeah, we do. Matt, you've read it. I think we both read it.
Yeah.
I mean, reading Beach Boys stuff is tough because we'll never know the truth, right? But I stick to the greats, and to me, I put the greats up there with two that we have been lucky enough to have on the show. And to me, it's 1-2 or 1A, 1A. It's David Leaf and Peter Ames Carlin, man.
Oh yeah,
those guys.
Yeah.
In terms of in terms of like all the way through, beginning to end, like like that kind of stuff, I look at those guys. You know, there's obviously other awesome when we've had them on the show that take like specific parts of their career. But to me,
well, I've also heard that Brian's kind of disowned that biography because that was during the Landy years and everything. Yeah. So I think some of the Beach Boys sued over some of the stuff in there. It became kind of an issue. So, I mean, you can read it for what's in there. I'm sure some of it's true, but I would read, if you want to read Brian, I would read his new biography. That's got some cool stories in it. You know?
Exactly. Monza. Hey, Monza, what's up? Man, one of the best voices in the community right there. I think if Brian was looking for another high voice guy, Monza would get that call. I have no doubt about that. And if anybody in Brian's camp is listening, reach out to Monza. I don't think enough people like or recognize Blondie. Hot take, I know. Yeah. What do you think about Blondie in the Brian Wilson group?
I think, you know, it's the songs he plays. Obviously, he plays, you know, Wild Honey. He'll play Sail on Sailor, and they'll do a Carl song, and then he only comes out on the encore. So he does give them a different energy. I kind of visualize there was a DVD that came out a few years ago called Brian Wilson and Friends from Las Vegas, and Ricky Fattar is playing drums. Billy Hinchy's on.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Billy Hinchy's on the keys, and Blondie's out there. And Al says this was pretty much the core of the touring band of the 70s. And when you think about it that way, it's really cool, you know? Yeah. So I think it's neat to see him because of the history and what he brings to the band. You know, I'm not a big fan of huge guitar solos that go on and on. That's just not my style of music. And that's what Blondie does. I don't think it's bad, but you know.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I like Blondie. I think he adds a little bit of edge to the band. I think it's kind of a nice mix up there. Scott says, I got to see something great from 68. It was awesome. Oh, man, Scott, don't tell me that. I really wanted to see that.
I wanted to see that one, too. Yeah.
Man, do you think they wouldn't do that again, right?
I wish. I don't know if he didn't come near where I was playing, or I think he might have canceled or something. I don't remember what happened. I thought I had tickets to go, but then I didn't go. I don't remember.
Sandy says Lucky Old Son was wonderful. Yeah, Matt, that was my first Brian Wilson concert, was Lucky Old Son, and I loved it so much. Because he did the thing where they do like the hits and then they do the album, and Matt and I got to go. I got to meet Brian and had him sign something. He didn't say anything to me, which was cool. You know,
it's when we got our Pet Sounds album signed. Remember?
Yeah, super cool. Taylor on Facebook. Hey, Taylor says first time I saw Brian was him opening for Paul Simon.
Well, that's early, like 98 or something, 99. Yeah.
Was he like pitching a record at that, like Imagination maybe?
I think maybe the historians can tell us, but I thought that's when he was first going back on the road. So it was kind of like baby steps, you know, he's going to open first, see how it goes, you know, with the new band and everything.
Yeah.
Before he did a full-fledged tour. Yeah.
Andrea Maria, tough choices. I would vote for Greatest Hits with Al and Blondie. Love the 70s era. Beach Boys, Holland, Carl, and the Passions. Great music and so underrated. 100%. And in fact, I'm gonna say something pretty controversial here. I would much rather have Carl and the Passions Holland box set than a Feel Flows box set. Is that a hot take? I love the Holland album. And
I actually agree with you. And I listened to to Carl and the Passions 3 times now in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
When I was sick, I listened to it. That album is really growing on me. That's another one that's not that well known or not that popular, but there's a lot of cool stuff on there. So
yeah, Matt, you know what opened me up to the Holland record was Mark Schuster and his book.
Yeah, no doubt.
Was all the people on here right now, you guys kind of waking me up to Holland and being like, dude, Greg, you need to listen to this record.
Yeah.
And I did, and now I'm just in love. Oh, man, I mean.
Same with me,
like There's so many things that I feel that I've only felt with you. Only with you. I mean, I don't know that I mean, it kicks off with Sail on Sailor. We could talk. We need to have another Holland episode. I love it. I think it's a great record. I would love to hear some of the outtakes from those from recordings and stuff. Just awesome, man. Great tune. Dennis is on there. Carl is on there. It's just a great mix of.
Brian's got a couple. Funky Pretty is good.
What's the is Trader? No, what?
Trader's on there.
Trader. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, really good stuff. Yeah. Man, I love Holland. I love the Beach Boys. This is awesome.
I know.
So many different, man, they got just so many different
the California
eras
Saga, they got Big Sur on there, which is a cool song, from the Feel Flows era. But
it's like when you go down the rabbit hole of like one album or one era, you forget that a whole nother era exists. And you're like, oh, like I love the surfing stuff. I love the early Surf and Safari record and Surfer Girl and all that kind of stuff. And then, oh yeah, I forgot MIU and like, the LA, like the Light album.
Keeping the Summer Alive.
Just like so much great music. How lucky are we? We're just
we
lucky
really
souls.
are.
We are
Blessed, yeah.
Absolutely. Virginia. Hi, Virginia. Virginia, are you new? Virginia, are you new out there? I think Virginia's new. Virginia, if you're new, welcome. We are honored to have you.
Hey,
here.
Virginia.
Blondie reminds me of Mick Jagger. He was on the Pet Sounds tour. I saw them in St. Augustine. Awesome. I didn't know. Wait, was Blondie really on the Pet Sounds tour?
Yeah, he was on the 50th. Yep.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. Did he sing anything on Pet Sounds?
Yeah, when you and I were there, he was there. He didn't sing anything. Like I said, he came out for the part in the beginning before Pet Sounds and kind of ended the first set, with kind of his rockers, and came out for the encore. I think he might have played tambourine on one of the songs in Pet Sounds, but he didn't come out for the whole thing.
Matt, I know this was like a last minute show kind of thrown together because we didn't want to cancel, but I got to tell you, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm like super pumped talking through all this stuff. I hope you guys are having a lot of fun too. Once again, this is Beach Boys Talk live stream. We are live right now. You can chat with us right over here somewhere on the chat. Where is it? Right there. You can chat over to my brother's left, and you can write stuff and share your thoughts with us, and we'll read them. And because you're smarter than we are. There's no doubt about that. Gene on YouTube. Hi, Gene. I don't know. I think Gene might be new. Gene on YouTube. We're getting more YouTube, folks, and I get more YouTube comments all the time. Most of them are negative and make me want to cry, but that's okay. Gene, I'm just kidding.
Virginia said, yes, thank you. She's new. I have been following you guys on Instagram for a while. Well,
awesome.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for that. Yeah,
really glad you're here, Virginia. You should join us all the time. Gene on YouTube was Something Great from '68, a Friends live album, right? I think, right?
They played a lot. They didn't play the whole album. They played live cuts from Friends and Surf's Up. It was mostly Friends and Surf's Up cuts. Maybe Scott can say, but they didn't play but they played Diamond Head. They played Friends. They played Wake the World, stuff like that.
We need by the way, Scott on Facebook is he is an incredible person, but he knows the Beach Boys better than we do.
Wealth of knowledge, he
does.
Not
to mention, he's got some really cool tutorial videos on piano that I have been following, so make sure you check those out.
He and his buddy did a whole review of the Feel Flows box set, song by song. I watched that whole thing. It was good. Good stuff, Scott.
We have so many talented people in this community. It's really good. Yeah. Chase Mihan on Facebook. Hey, Chase, I saw the No Peer Pressure tour in 2015. Oh. Cool.
You know what?
That tour in 2016. Wait, let me finish Chase's thought real quick, Matt. Seeing the Greatest Hits show later this month. Really wish I could have seen that 68 tour, so I voted for that one. Love Friends and the Odyssey and Oracle. I love those albums. I love Odyssey and Oracle. I drowned myself in that album for a long time, and I think it's so great. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the best Brian Wilson performance of Brian himself I ever saw was the No Peer Pressure tour in Nashville. He was on fire. I mean, he sang Busy Doing Nothing. He sang Surf's Up. He sang a bunch of cuts off No Peer Pressure, but he was really excited. You know how sometimes he's not so excited. That was the best one I've seen with him.
Yeah, Sandy says going to see Brian next Friday or Saturday. Awesome. Very, very jealous. Scott says, I wanted to do backflips when that tour was announced. To experience a show centered around my second and third favorite Beach Boys albums, If Not Counting Smile, was a dream. Yeah, I love the Friends album, and I love that it was paired. It's almost like I knew that those two albums belonged somewhat together in some way, right? It's like, good morning to you. I hope you're feeling better, baby. Thinking of you while you are far away. Oh man, I wish I could sing. That whole album is so good. And then to pair with Friends, it's just did they do this one? As I sit and close my eyes, there's peace in my mind, and I'm hoping that you did they do that one? I want to know which ones they did. What was the set list of that? Awesome.
I would love to see. I think he actually did. I can't answer for Scott. I wasn't there, but I think he played Meant for You and the Friends. They played. He played Busy Doing Nothing, and then they played Diamond Head, which was cool. the instrumental on there. And then from Surf's Up, they played Surf's Up. They played the Welfare song.
Yeah.
They played Until I Die. I've never heard Brian sing Until I Die live. That would have been awesome.
So great.
Yeah.
Kyle asks a good question on Facebook. Did Brian and Blondie perform on stage together in the 70s? That's interesting. That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe one of the experts can tell us. Andrea Maria on Facebook, good friend, wish they would all make amends and tour. It would be great to see Brian, Mike, Al, Bruce together. I mean, how that is probably Andrea hits the nail on the head there. Probably the most frustrating thing is like, can you imagine, like, these tours are great. The Friends, the Something Great in 68 tour is great. The Feel Flows from Mike Love tour is great. But they would be so much better together. I mean, the Feel Flows tour, can you imagine? That
oh, yeah.
I mean, add some music to your day where they're all singing their individual parts.
Yeah, they did that at the 50th, remember? And it was amazing. You got Al singing his part, Bruce, Brian, we miss Carl, of course.
Matt,
but
I'll never forget being in Cincinnati at the 50th and sitting with you and little Thomas and them just kicking off Do It Again and Mike Love stepping up to the microphone. And you had them all up there. It was just something so cool about
you get that authentic sound,
Yeah, because you can play Do It Again and California Girls all you want, Brian Wilson, but at the end of the day, no one in that group will ever sound like Mike Love, and vice versa, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Mike Love can get all the singers and stuff he wants, but man, when Brian sings those little clips like the bridge on Surfer Girl,
just like Al singing Help Me Rhonda, when Mike's band does it, it's a cool song, but it's not Al singing, it's just different. It adds something,
Yeah, I'll just say this. If anybody in the Beach Boys group or the Mike Love group or the Brian Wilson group is watching us that is higher up and is in charge of getting this thing together, we will allow it. Matt and I in the Beach Boy Talk community, we are okay with it.
You're welcome to come on here and promote it anytime.
You're welcome to come on here and promote the show. Speaking of promotion and something we do not promote enough of, we got to let in our good friend David Beard from Endless Summer Quarterly. Everybody, let's make some noise for David Beard on the show.
Was that for me?
Yeah.
Hey there, David.
Wow.
No, hey, David, it was for the other David Beard that's coming in just a few moments.
There are 3 David Beards in Charlotte.
No, there's not.
Yes, there are.
Really?
Well, now there's 2 because I'm in Fort Mill officially.
I thought you were going to say now there's 2 because I killed one.
There can only be one David Beard.
There can be only one. This is the Highlander series.
David, so excited to see, and it goes with the many moods tonight. It was usually, David, our many moods is very light, very fun, very somewhat controversial, but all in the. But Matt brought up a good point because it was a comment from someone who is in our family, and anybody that follows Beach Boy Talk and hangs out with us is in our family, and it was the mention that they were really excited for Carrie tonight because it brings a female perspective. It brings a different perspective that I think is very fresh and something that we don't get a lot of in the Beach Boys community. Would you mind commenting on that and maybe segueing that into what I think is going to be one of the most exciting Endless Summer Quarterly issues to come out? I think I'm so excited, and I don't want to spoil too much here. Not that I know anything that anybody else doesn't, but can you kind of give your comments on that, and then maybe talk about the new issue you guys are working on?
Well, first, you don't get really many female perspectives when you're talking about the Beach Boys story. Now, I had the great pleasure of interviewing Tony Tennille back in 2019 because I did the Daryl Dragon tribute edition because he was such a major part of the Beach Boys sound and touring band for many years. And he worked, he wrote quite a bit of that material that's on the new Feel Flows box set with Dennis. So Daryl's fingerprint is all over that stuff. And Tony was actually a touring Beach Boy for a short time. So she has a really unique perspective. But when I think of the question and I think of Tony, I think of, the Honeys too, Brian's wife and her sister and, Ginger Blake, Diane Revelle, and Marilyn Wilson Rutherford were the Honeys. And there's a lot of great, and then the album that Diane and Marilyn did in the early 70s, 72, I think, called Spring. And sometimes it's called American Spring, but the music is just great. So I don't know how. I think perspectives from everywhere are always great when you're talking about any given subject. You know, if the people who, whatever the subject is, if the people have informed, backstories or experiences that they can share. So I don't know if it's. I mean, what would the Beach Boys be without singing about girls? I mean,
Right.
So I think, they kind of are the when I was young, anyways, one of the first things that drew me to the Beach Boys and their sound was that they were an all guy group. They had a very kind of American look to them, and they became America's band in the early 80s when that whole thing went down. So I was just getting into them when they became, in quotes, America's band. So I've always kind of, when I think about the female perspective, I think about just being asked that. I'm finding that I'm thinking about Surfer Girl, and I'm thinking about When You Wish Upon a Star. One of the questions that Brian answered for the upcoming Audrey Wilson edition was that was the song that he recalled that he and his mother liked to play together and sing together at the piano the most.
Oh man, that's really nice.
And so I don't know. It's hard for, here we are, three guys talking about the female perspective. So I don't know that. I don't know,
David.
I don't know.
David, it's so funny you say that. I was thinking about that the entire time. I'm like, this is just seems disingenuous. But I completely understand.
Yeah. But
when I brought it up, I didn't mean it like that. Like, I know what the female perspective is. I guess what I was saying. I guess what I was saying more was like, if from a female perspective, would they ever, find some of the Beach Boys songs or lyrics, kind of maybe, cringy or something. That's all. And maybe they don't. I don't know.
Maybe Hey Little Tomboy.
We talked about that. It's a little rough, yeah.
But really, I think I could absolutely. I find it fascinating from a subscriber's point of view when I have someone like Allison Ehrenberg, who's still in her teens. Come along and discover them, and me asking her, because I can remember when she first became a subscriber, and then I got to know her through Facebook. And I remember asking her, what is it that you find so intriguing about the group, or that you love so much about the group? And I loved getting for two things: one, female perspective; two, teenager perspective. Because I don't remember exactly what year it was for me when I kind of really became enamored with them, but just to talk to I've got my son and he loves them. But to have an outside teenage perspective in the 2000s, not the 70s, 80s, 90s, but the 2000s, was really kind of interesting and intriguing to me. So that whenever ESQ has a female subscriber, or I get to know someone who's a female fan, I always enjoy conversing with them, because I just really like it's with Allison. I believe her favorite song is "I Get Around."
Yeah.
And so I think, really, out of all the songs, that's the one. Because I would think, I kind of think, what would females be drawn to? Like, maybe God only knows, love songs, right? That's what my mind tells me. But so again, I like that Allison is one example, loves a song like "I Get Around," which is just that fun, energized, really, it's a perspective on life that we as guys think about solely as a guy's perspective. But when you think about the things that are being sung, cooling around, going around town in my car, checking out the scene, making bread so that I can go out and do the things I want, that really is kind of a universal message. You did a job, and so I dig that. And
that's a great point. That's exactly what I kind of meant. Like, we look at the lyrics one way. They're written from a male perspective, and can females get that on the other side? That's what you just said is a really good point. Yeah.
The one there's a scene in my mind. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the film Girls on the Beach, but there's a really the film, for the most part, is kind of a campy thing, and it doesn't star the Beach Boys. They're in it, but it doesn't star them. And it's odd because the whole plot of the film is that the group in the film are trying to find the Beatles. They want to meet, and the Beach Boys are in it. So it makes no sense. But there's a lovely scene in it, and it's been a long time since I've watched it, but there's a lovely scene. And this whole question has brought this up, where Brian is sitting down on the beach around a campfire at night, with the other actors in the film, and he sings The Lonely Sea. And it's just worth, that moment is just worth its weight in gold. And so when I think about, I mean, just even though that's not necessarily a romantic song, I mean, it's sung romantically. So that's one of the things I think is so vital about the Beach Boys and their music, is that it can be a song about, the Ballad of Old Betsy is a song about a car, but it's sung in such a way that it's romanticized. And so there's a lot of romanticism in their music that isn't necessarily boy girl. There's just a lot of romanticism in general. And I'd like to think that, you know, that the women are drawn to that aspect of it, because I think that's one of the great layers of the many different genres and styles that the Beach Boys have recorded in.
Yeah.
Well, cool. With that being said, can you kind of move in and tell us about the Endless Summer Quarterly, the new issue coming out you've been working on?
Man, it's just it's still evolving. I kind of, part of me wishes it was done, because it's so interesting. But there's people still want to talk. People are finding out about it, and more people are wanting to talk. And
Right.
And so I'm kind of having to rearrange, and but it's really close to being done. I hope to be speaking with Jim Gershow about Audrey, and I was just on the phone earlier today with Brother Records CEO and President Jerry Schilling, discussing working on not the Audrey part of our conversation, but the Carl part of our conversation, because the next edition will be celebrating what would have been Carl's 75th birthday. And
awesome.
And this, and I don't know how much I went into it before, but basically the idea with the Audrey edition was to just do something solely about Audrey Wilson, because I didn't think there was a lot out there that I could really know and understand her. And when 2018, they released the sessions, Can You Hear Music, the digital only copyright extension release they had, the last track of the 2 disc worth of digital material was Is It True What They Say About Dixie? And it's just a piano and Audrey Wilson.
Oh,
and
yeah. I know.
Yeah. And it's like Al's in the studio. There's a little banter beforehand, but then it's just her and the piano. And it's like, it reminds me of that Lonely Sea scene from Girls on the Beach. It's just that lovely and grounding. And I thought, man, so ever since then, I've been thinking about doing something about Audrey Wilson, because I don't think I knew about, I just don't feel like I know enough about it. And so that's what started me on this journey. And the first interview that I did was with Annie Wilson, Carl Wilson's first wife, and the mother to Jonah and Justin Wilson. And her story, you know, like one of the first questions was, well, tell me how you met Carl, because I wanted to understand how she came into the family to have met Audrey to begin with. So that's, and it turns out Annie met Carl and Audrey the same day at LAX. And that's a story in itself, how they even get to LAX and why she was there. And the Beach Boys were going off to, I think, Salt Lake. So this is September of '65. So that and Annie is great with her memory, with in terms of dates and stuff. Everything she would mention, I'd look it up and kind of fine tune it if I needed to. Thanks to Andrew Doe's Bellagio site, I could go out there and look at dates and things, because that's such a quick resource. And it's just turned into, so it's Audrey, and then it kind of, as I kind of bring in Annie's story and the way that she met Audrey and Carl the same day, all of a sudden, kind of in the middle of the magazine, it kind of goes into this Annie and Carl love story. And then it kind of segues and morphs back into the story of Audrey and how close Carl and Audrey were, and that relationship. And Audrey is a grandmother, because I talked to all the grandkids, you know, Jonah, Justin, Carney, Wendy, you know, so it's really this kind of broad, big pictured look at, and again, I just thought this is just going to be Audrey. And then and I thought, well, Carl is next. So why not allow this story? Why not give Annie this platform? Because Annie Wilson is, you guys can search anywhere you like. And this has been brought up to me. Annie Wilson does not do interviews. This is Billy Hinchy's sister.
Right.
She does not do interviews. And the fact that she was wanting to talk to me and has since put me in touch with other people who are in the Beach Boys umbrella network through the years, has just been it's fantastic. And again, I couldn't have wished for more, because I'm such a fan. I've met Carl. I'm such a fan of his. I know what a great, tremendous heart he was.
Yeah.
And so to be able to tell this love story, with Audrey kind of working as the bookends to it, and then, you know, as we go into the next issue, people who have this issue will be able to understand Annie's role in the next one.
Yeah.
And the mentions of Audrey that will come up in the next edition because of what's being told in this one. So it's really kind of a big picture two edition thing.
I have two questions for you, David. Number one, and this is kind of surface level, so you can ignore this question. Number one is the cover that I've seen out there. It looks like, I don't know if it was a fan art, like someone is a huge fan of ESQ. It looked great if it was, but of the cover of the new issue, has that been released?
I put out a draft of it.
Okay. So that may have been yours.
Yeah. And
okay.
I made a couple of tweaks and movements to certain things, and
I loved it.
And oh, thank you. Yeah, Billy loves it. Jerry loves it. Annie loves it. So, you know, that was the criteria. If they'd said, oh, what is this? And I would have went, oh no, I have to get back to the drawing.
One of our many friends on here shared it on Facebook. By the way, love the Facebook groups and pages, people sharing stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that's not the actual cover, someone needs to call David, because that should be the cover, because it's really great. And
thank you.
Number two, so this question's a little bit deeper, and it kind of goes along with Matt's many moods, which I thought was really, like I said, really needed. I 100%. Did you notice anything? Did you feel anything when you've been interviewing Beach Boys for a very long time. You've gotten to spend time with Beach Boys. You've gotten to be in their circle. You've gotten to interview them. But when you're interviewing from a female perspective and trying to get the female perspective, is there anything you noticed that was different about the interview process, about the interview experience, getting the different perspective, the different side of it? You know what I mean? Was there anything you noticed?
Yes. And it's funny because I started thinking about 20 to Neil first. I'm doing an Audrey edition, and I've interviewed Carney and Wendy a number of times, and I don't know why I didn't think of them or Annie for that matter.
Exactly.
And the thing that I'm just like any family and any family members, they're all very different. And I just mean that kind of across the board. I don't just mean females only. I just, Carney's a little bit more outgoing than Wendy is. Carney's more, from what I understand, a little bit like Audrey in terms of she likes to cuss like a sailor. Those types of things, which I find really endearing. The thing that I'm finding is true is, and I don't know, I'm just thinking right now because I'm in the midst of working on this Audrey edition, but which I think is really applicable to your question and Matt's thing, is there is just so much heart in this family. There is just so much genuine, whatever it is. If they're talking about something humorous, there's something about something sad. If they're talking about something that's just a musical project, there's just so much heart. And it seems to me that to this day, well, first of all, I think people are going to be really happily surprised, number one, when they read Annie's interview, because Annie, I feel a lot of Carl in her. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool. The other thing is there's a love. There's a family love. That's I'm getting a little choked up thinking about it. And I am, because the amount of trust that this person is being given to execute these stories. And it's kind of it's quite humbling, but it's a blast. But to be able to tell this story is it's almost like peeling an orange, kind of. You peel back one layer. I don't know. An orange or a banana. They only have one layer, but there's so many layers to this.
You mean like an
just
onion
peel
or
back.
Something?
Yeah. Okay. There you go. An onion, but an orange like onion. So you're not going to get tears. It's going to be sweet when you get to
it still tastes good. Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe a coconut doesn't work.
Yeah.
But so like an onion, many layers, but sweet when you get to the nectar. So not going to make you, well, it might make you cry depending on what you're talking about, but there's so much depth there. You guys have talked about Carl. Carl is very much alive in these people, just as much as Audrey is. And that's for me not to know Audrey, for me to get to know Audrey through these interviews. That's the one thing that the readers won't be able to get, which is when I interview the people and I get to listen to the interviews and I'm transcribing, I get to hear the heart, I get to hear the laugh.
Yeah.
So when I'm transcribing, if there's a laugh, I'll put in brackets, laughs, that type of thing. It's not quite the same. It's like reading Mike Love's book or listening to Mike Love's audio of his book, which he actually reads himself. So when he gets emotional,
does he really?
Yeah.
You know what? I might have to check, as I've read his book,
Dude,
but I didn't know he read it.
This disc of Mike reading it himself verbatim.
Please,
I gotta check that out. Yeah,
David, please tell me he put it on a different format than discs, right? It's on like.
It's probably
books,
available
right?
on iTunes.
Okay,
I would think
good.
So.
All right,
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
Like, I'm not buying 6
I just
discs,
have it on.
Yeah.
I have it on this little here. This is the disc version of the audio.
I need to check that out. I wish
Tony Tennille did the same type of thing. She read
brilliant.
She put her book out and then read her own thing.
That's brilliant. You know who needs to do this, and I feel like ad nauseum we've heard. I mean this in the most positive way. Brian's story and Mike's story. You know who I want to come out with an audiobook about his experience? Al Jardine.
Yeah.
Why has he not written a biography yet?
Talk
to him.
Everything
David.
Comes in due time, and I've gotten the impression. I don't know this for a fact, but I've gotten the impression through the years that when somebody like an Al Jardine or really any Beach Boy would be approached for a book deal, that the people approaching the people for a book deal are wanting salacious stuff because they want their book to sell. Al is a very opinionated man, but he's not a salacious man.
Right.
And so he has been reluctant for that reason. Because of, I think, past people approaching him to do a type of book. And, they're wanting him to divulge stories that are uncomfortable. And you guys remember when we had Matt on, and Matt was just talking about how a song,
Matt Jardine,
had, made his dad feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So there's
pretty heavy.
Yeah. So, it's processing, but I'd be surprised if we don't see something from Al in the years to come.
Would love that.
I think, I think it's one of those things that's going to be a natural thing where he writes what he wants to write. And he's got books by Brian and Mike now that he can use as examples. Mike's in particular. I think Brian's was excellent. Not the Wouldn't It Be Nice. I'm talking about the I Am Brian Wilson from 2016.
Yeah.
And when I was young, I bought the Wouldn't It Be Nice because that was the first Brian Wilson book. And I bought a lot of what was in there, hook, line, and sinker, and didn't understand that a lot of it had been written from Dr. Landy's perspective until years later. So I felt a little duped in that respect.
Yeah.
And books can do that. Books, depending on someone's agenda.
Looking forward to the new issue, though. It sounds like it's going to be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, David, we have it going in the chat, and we'll have it going all night. The link to Endless Summer Quarterly. So make sure you go to the website.
It's good stuff, everybody. Yeah, get it if you don't have it. Yep.
And what's the best part about Endless Summer Quarterly is, to me, is not the new issues coming out. I think they're great, but what the best part about it is the past issues. And I've said this before. The next time you listen to a Beach Boys album, if you don't have the Endless Summer Quarterly pairing with it, it's like to me, it's like going to and I'm not like what are the wine people called that can taste the different type of wine that needs to be paired with the food? What's that called?
Oh,
it's like a very
like a
wine taster.
Yeah, taste connoisseur. I don't know. Wine connoisseur. I don't know.
No,
wine
it's called something.
It is. He's right. It's like concierge, but it's not concierge.
Yeah, but
it's specific.
You're kind of saying it's like, Greg. You're kind of saying it's like a companion to the album.
100%. Yeah. I have the Friends Endless Summer Quarterly issue sitting right next to me, and having that paired with while listening to the album is such a treat. If you don't have it, sommelier. Sommelier. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. So if you don't have the Endless Summer,
not to be confused with Salieri.
No, it's a great. By the way, December's coming, Christmas is coming. Great gift idea.
Yeah.
If you have a Beach Boy fan in the family, get him like a 4-pack. Get him the Pet Sounds. Get him the Smile. Get him the Friends, and get him the Feel Flows or whatever. I get each one of these issues is an absolute gold mine of information and a lot of hard work from David Beard and his entire team over there. So David, I'm going to throw this out there, and I'm putting you on the spot here, and I'm fully aware that it could be a no. But with Carrie unfortunately not being here, Matt and I are going to do a Beach Boys 60th anniversary retrospective. And so what we're going to do for the next however long it's going to take, or we put a time limit on it, we're going to go one album at a time, we're going to play a little snippet of a song, and we're going to talk about each album, and we're going to go all the way from Surfin' to Summer in Paradise. We're going to go all the way through, and
that's why God made the radio. Yeah,
we're gonna try and do that in about 40 minutes here. We're gonna try and get them all in there and talk about each song. You are of course welcome to join us as always, but if you need to bail, we also understand. But we are ready to rock and roll. And we also want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for your time. For sure,
we appreciate it every time.
Putting you on the spot. You can say no. I know you are very busy. You've got a lot to work on.
It's very interesting.
It's gonna be Greg and Matt style. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not gonna be
rough. This is
not gonna be the
good.
deepest thing, the most historic thing. But Greg and I, like I said, we're pulling an audible here, and since according to Al, October 4th was the anniversary of when they recorded Surfin'. That's their 60th.
When they recorded
it. We figured. When they recorded it, we figured we would just celebrate their 60 years. You know.
And everyone's been sick, so we didn't want to cancel. So we're just gonna go through every album, talk about it for about. We're gonna give each album. We're gonna give each album like a minute, kind of like what's the show on ESPN, PTI, where they have like they keep going down and they have like a minute for each thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that.
Yes.
So
okay.
Matt,
you have a bell.
We should have a bell.
Ding!
I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do. I'm gonna put my
Hey,
time.
oh, by the way, PTI. Tony Kornheiser is a major Beach Boy fan. He's actually
right?
from
I didn't know that.
He's from my area of Binghamton, New York.
I like him.
Yeah.
And he loves
Kornheiser.
Speedies.
We should get him on the show, man. That'd be fun.
We need to reach out to him. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put my timer on, and we'll do it for Matt. Okay, forgive me for not knowing this. How many albums are we doing right now?
We're only gonna do the studio, so we're not doing the in-concert albums. There's 3 of those.
We're gonna skip Royal Philharmonic then.
Yeah, we're gonna stop with That's Why God Made the Radio.
Okay, so how many albums?
28, 29, something.
28.
So 29 albums. And how do we do this? So and we need to do it. Let's give ourselves 60 minutes here. So 60 minutes divided by 29 is we're gonna exactly 2 minutes each song. 2 minutes each album. So I'm gonna set the timer and. When we're done, we're done. Okay, we got to move on. We can't.
Yeah, and one of the things we want the chat to do when we start the album, we're going to start with in celebration of the single Surfin'. But when we start the album, we'd like you to rate each album between a 1 and a 10. Just put your number in the chat. We just want to get that going. Yep.
Matt, that's an awesome idea. Yeah, so we're going to do each album 1 through 10. Either give it a 7, give it an 8, give it a 2 if you hate it. But you got to rank it 1 through 10. Just put the number in there. This will be really
throw it in there just for fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beach Boy Talk, last minute, thrown together, 60th anniversary retrospective. We're going to have some fun here. Matt, here we go. Let's do it. Let's go.
All right,
this could be terrible.
We're going to start with the first single the Beach Boys released. They recorded it on October 4th. I think it was released November, December. It was on the Candix label. It was called Surfin'. And this was the story you hear. The Beach Boys heard it on the radio. They even called in to request it themselves, and then they heard it, and they were so excited. So let's hear it, Greg.
All right, Matt, why don't we – okay, just to kick things off, why don't you sing it? I'm going to put you on the spot because You had such a terrible many moods today. You got to make up for it with some good. I'm just kidding. It wasn't terrible. All right.
We vent the many moods, man. You said it was a good idea.
All right, Matt. All right, Matt. You sing the verse. Ready? Go ahead.
I need a key.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it this morning. Okay, Matt, go ahead. I'll play along with you.
I woke up this morning, turned on my radio. I was checking out the surfing scene to see if I could go. And when the DJ tells me that the surfing is fine, that's when I know my baby and I will have a good time. We're going surfing. Surfing.
I love. Okay. That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably touring quality. We probably should go on tour.
Oh yeah, we're ready.
What's the awesome group that Matt we need to go see? Sail On with Wyatt and those guys.
Yeah.
That's such an awesome group. We need to go see them.
Yeah, we do.
We're kind of next up, honestly. I mean, if they just
you are not me. You are.
No, we're all together. Okay, so surfing. Yeah, love Luau. Love that early stuff. And it's really great stuff. Okay, we don't need to do a 1 to 10.
All right.
That,
so the
right?
first album released October 1st, 1962 for Capitol Records. The Beach Boys, garage band, punk rock, if you want to call it, very unpolished, but very awesome in many ways. That's the Surfing Safari album. So you take a song from there, Greg.
Surfing is the only life, the only way for me. Now surf with me. Oh, wait, no, hold on.
Surfing Safari.
I did surfing. What's surf? How does Surfing Safari start?
Let's go surfing now.
It's like the same thing. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on and safari with me. Come on and safari. Early in the morning, we'll be starting now. Some honeys will be coming along. We're rolling up our booties with the bones inside and heading out singing a song. Come on, baby, wait and see. Yes, I'm gonna surf. You surfing with me? Come along, surfing safari. I'm gonna take you surfing with me. Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on and safari with me. Come on and safari
with me.
Oh, wait. Oh, I did the wrong key.
Does anybody know what Mike says when he goes, I have no idea what he says there.
Well, they're getting out in Doheny too.
They're places. I think they're places.
Surfing getting wild, getting bigger every
okay,
day.
Matt, we got a 9 from Joyce. Surfing Safari album. Todd gives it 8, 7, 10. Todd Peters gives it a 10. Wow.
All right.
Claire gives it an 8.
You can look up those locations. Yeah, it's all locations.
Yeah, I figured that. I don't know what he's saying. The enunciation is,
Real quick, anyway. By the way, chat, we have like 30 albums to go through. You're already giving it a 9. Tom gives it a 9.
We didn't even get to today yet. So
those are early.
Okay, here we go. Nolan 6, Chase 4, Sandy 4, Michael 8, Kyle. Oh, they're angling in Laguna. They're angling.
Thank you.
Angling in Laguna.
Man, they're kicking out in Doheny
DJ.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I didn't put the timer, but let's pretend that we're out of time here, Matt.
All right.
Surfing
Second
USA.
album
Here we
released March 25th,
starting
1963, Capitol. It's a big improvement from Surfing Safari. That's the Surfing USA album.
Okay, starting the timer. Okay, here we go. All right, Surfing.
This is where Brian is surpassing his father.
Yes. Pretty much, yeah.
If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody be surfing like California. You see them wearing the baggy Warachi sandals too, a bushy blonde hairdo, surfing USA. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Nice.
All right, let's see some numbers here. Oh,
Matt, a lot of nice stuff on there.
Tell us about the Surfing USA album. We got a minute. Come on.
I just think it's a step up. Farmer's Daughter is a really great song. I think David mentioned it earlier. You have The Lonely Sea on there, which is kind of a preview of what's to come in the future with Brian's ballads. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
A lot of filler too, but a step up for sure.
David, Surfing USA.
I agree with Matt.
All right. I gave it a 7, by the way. 7.
In the chat, we got 10, 10, 6, 10, 8, 7.5, 10, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6. Wow. Cynthia says, hey, I'm originally from Florida. We have beaches too. Yes, you do, Cynthia. Welcome. Happy you're here. Michael, David, Matt, Greg in mono. Yeah, we are in mono. 7.5. Scott, 7.5. One of the better early albums in my opinion. Love it. I love it, love it, love it. Michael Coates, 5 great instrumentals. So 5, 6.5, 10. Good stuff. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Matt, moving on.
All right,
Let's
next
go.
album, a huge improvement. You get In My Room, Surfer Girl, Catch a Wave, Little Deuce Coupe, Surfer's Rule, among other, the Surfer Moon. That is the Surfer Girl album, came out September 16th, 1963 on Capitol.
Okay, I'm going to try and come up with a song for each one of these, Matt. We'll just see if we can do it.
You can do it.
Right, yeah. There's a world where I can go and tell my secrets to. In my room, in my room,
Yeah, that's a really good album. Again, a big step. I don't know how else to explain it except for that. A lot of really nice songs on there. The harmony is tighter. The production's a little tighter. David, what do you think about that one?
Well, the whole album is an arc of Brian's maturation process, not just in the song structures and the lyrics that he applies to the songs and the way they're executed, but his understanding of music is just the fact that just in those 3 albums, how much he just kind of blossomed, and surpassed his dad, who wanted to be the guy. I mean, I think Murray just had always kind of seen himself connected to music somehow, and when his boys started a group, that was the connection for him, and I don't think anyone anticipated or expected Brian to become so good at what he did so early on.
Yeah, you almost want to say that this is Brian's coming out album.
It is. Yeah,
like it's him flexing. Like, this is what I can do. And the world takes notice, right? Surfer USA, the world takes notice of the Beach Boys. Surfer Girl, the world takes notice of Brian Wilson, I think.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, brother. Yep.
Let's look at some of the chat. We have a 10 from Les, 6, 7.5, 9, 9.5, 9, 9, 7, 8, 8, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 from Cynthia. Cynthia only had 1 10, 9. Love it, 10, 10. Lots of high grades for Surfer Girl. I'm surprised. I
gave it a 7.5.
I love it. I think it's a 7.5.
Yeah, because you have to get to
try
Today
again?
And Summer Days and Pet Sounds. And
He's waiting for MIU, Greg.
What do you give Surfer? I think you have to give Surfer Girl
11.
I think any song that has Surfer Girl on it, you have to give at least an 8, right? It has Surfer Girl on it.
Well, you round up a 7.5 to an 8, so I'm not that far off.
I don't know. I mean, it's, to me, Surfer Girl
5 seconds
is more of an album of songs than
3
it is
seconds.
an album whole.
All right.
Okay, done. All right.
So Brian
Good
was
job,
really
guys. Hey, we're doing it.
Surfer Girl did really well at this time. They were creative. Amazingly, a month later, not even a month later, they put out the album Little Deuce Coupe for all those folks, those landlocked folks that don't have the beaches. You want to talk about the cars, rev up the engines. And so they put a couple retreads on there from other albums, but the next album is Little Deuce Coupe had, Be True to Your School was a big single off of it, right?
Oh, when I got her now, she wasn't.
That's on Shut Down, Volume 2.
Oh,
I was so excited.
You just jumped ahead an album.
I'm so terrible at this. I suck. I'm so sorry. A little
there you go.
You don't know what I got. You don't know what I got. Well, I'm not bragging, bricks it don't put me down. But I've got the fastest set of wheels in town. When something comes up to me, don't even try. Cause even had to sit away. Man, I know she give out. She's my little scoop. You don't know what I got.
You don't know what I got.
Yes.
All right, Matt, thoughts?
That's got Ballad of Old Betsy on there, Spirit of America, Be True to Your School. I think there's a couple others. It's a nice album. It's not going forward creatively, I don't think, but it's a nice listen. I actually picked it up on vinyl for like $5. That was cool. So
Love it.
I gave it a 6.5 though. It's not better than Surfer Girl for sure.
David,
I like it similar, that I don't see it better than or lesser than. I see really Surfer Girl, Little Deuce Coupe as kind of an arc, at just as much as I do Shutdown Volume 2. Those three albums together are just kind of a same period arc for me. It's when you get to All Summer Long, the things really, that's where I'm like, oh shit, that's where it's not only is everything great at that level that was established on those previous albums, but things are just so good. And I'm jumping ahead, so I know.
I think Little Deuce Coupe at first glance may seem like kind of a filler album. They have a couple retreads, right? I think
Shutdown's on there and Little Deuce Coupe. Yeah,
I will say that Little Deuce Coupe, I give an absolute 10. I think this album crushes. I think it's one of their best albums, and I'm not just saying that. To me, Car Crazy Cutie, awesome. The
Cherry Coupe,
Cherry Coupe.
Yeah,
awesome.
And Greg,
are you sure this car of mine isn't on Little Deuce Coupe?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And Greg, from a perspective of like just a concept album, it's really right there, right?
Yeah. Dude, I think it's one of their first. Yeah, exactly. Surfer Girl maybe, but Little Deuce Coupe is on there. What else is on that record? I
Spirit of America's on there.
Spirit of America is a great tune. What else is on that?
Is Our Car Club on there? Or is that on Surfer Girl? I don't know.
That's why, that's the fact that we're asking ourselves these questions, and I don't have them in front of me. That's why when I think of Surfer Girl,
we're out of time.
Little Deuce Coupe, Shutdown Volume 2, it's that continuation of not what's on a particular album, but just the experience of those three albums and what they represent.
Oh, Betsy. We got 10, 8, 6, 9, 7. We got to move on. All right, next
All right,
album,
the
Matt,
next one, I actually think this is the better version of Little Deuce Coupe, and that was released 1964. You got Powerhouse's Fun, 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 Don't Worry, Baby, Warmth of the Sun. That is Shutdown Volume 2. That has This Car of Mine on it. Why Do Fools Fall in Love? There's just some, what a great album. I mean, it really is.
It's been building up inside of me for, I don't know how long. I don't know why, but I keep thinking something's about to go wrong. But she looks in my eyes and makes me realize when she says, don't worry, baby, everything will turn out all right. Don't worry, baby, baby. Ooh.
Matt, what you got?
I got an 8 on that one. I love it. I love the songs. There's a couple filler tracks, but they're again fun. The production is just better. Don't Worry, Baby, of course, to me is one of their greatest songs of all time. Warmth of the Sun is a really haunting ballad. Again, it's Brian Wilson taking his stuff forward now. Like you said, the Beach Boys, Brian. I think Shutdown Volume 2 is just again Hushabye's on All Summer Long. Yep. We're getting there.
I am the worst.
I gave it an 8.
I am the worst at this game. I am terrible. Dang it. All right, David.
I give the album, just from the songs that we've mentioned, probably a 7.
Yeah.
Explain yourself, sir.
No.
Well, it does have Denny's drums on it, to be fair.
No, thank you. I would not like to explain my. I think
that's it, man.
I think when you have Don't Worry. Oh man, see now.
Don't worry, baby. Don't worry. If we're talking about the song, it's 10. But
that's a 10, yeah.
But the album.
But don't you agree that? Don't you? Fine. All right.
I gave it an 8. It's close, but it's not quite there yet. You know what I mean?
I give it a 10 all day long.
Yeah.
Don't Worry, Baby. Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Fun. Are you kidding
In
me?
the Parking Lot is awesome.
In the
great
parking
songs.
lot.
All great songs.
Pom Pom Playgirl.
But In the Parking Lot is a strange song, guys. If you listen to the song structure of like what typically would be verse, chorus, verse, chorus, it's not even. It's like this minute. It's like under 2 minutes, and it's weird. thing.
It's awesome.
It's cool.
I love it. Let's go to the chat. Don says, my first album purchase, Shut Down Volume 2. I give it a 9.
Sorry, can I interrupt real quick? Don said, we forgot about one of the best songs on the album, Keep an Eye on Summer. Thank you, Don. I forgot about that one.
In your face. That's why it has to be a 10, right?
That's a 10 as well, yeah. I might have to move mine up to a 9 now.
I'll go up to an 8. I would like to only go to an 8.
Fair enough.
Your
Ding.
words I still can hear. Keep an eye on summer this year.
Oh, so good.
Oh, man. That is one of my all-time favorite songs. I can't believe I forgot about that. Thank you,
So
Don.
good. I got a 9, got an 8, got an 8, got an 8, got an 8, got a 9. These are high. 7. Scott says some of the greatest songs, Mitch, with not some good filler. What's some of the filler on Shutdown? Why we have like 30 seconds?
You have Shutdown Volume 2. Dun, 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 dun. And then you have Denny's drums.
Oh, yeah.
And then they do a cover of Louie, you know.
Okay. All right, moving on. Here we go.
All right, the next
David,
one.
Why is David covering his screen? Is he got to change his shirt?
I'm not, am I?
Yeah,
you got something on your screen, it looks like.
I thought you had to do a costume
whatever you
change.
have there.
Oh.
There you go. The next album was the first album the Beach Boys put out after the British invasion. This is really a great album all the way through, in my opinion, and that is All Summer Long.
All Summer Long.
Yeah.
10.
Around, round, get around, I get around. Ooh, I get around. From town to town, I'm a real good. I'll make a real good friend. I'm getting bug driving up and down the same old strip. I gotta find a new place where the kids are hip. My buddies and me are getting real well known. Yeah, the bad guys know us and they leave us alone. I get around.
All right, I can't do that part. Awesome record.
Great record. Again, of course, their first #1 hit, I Get Around. Not to mention All Summer Long. They're one of their best covers, Hushabye, Little Honda. I don't want to list all the tracks. It's just a really great record. The last track kind of takes it down a little bit for me when they're talking and goofing off. I know they still had to put some filler on there, but really it's
Matt,
an elite album.
Don't forget this song. We know they're right when they say we're not ready.
Yeah.
But all we care is how we feel right now.
Oh, such a good song.
Yep.
David, thoughts all summer long?
Great album. Number 10. Gotta give it 10.
Wow.
Give it a 10. You gave Shutdown Volume 2 a 7. Do you remember
No,
that?
I went up an 8 at the rate.
Okay, you went up an 8. Fine.
I went to an up to All Summer Long gets a 10 for me because it's everything. It's the sweet songs, it's the sorrowful songs, it's the great pop songs, it's everything in one collection. And it's the first time for me, and remember it now, it's different for everybody. I don't know what first Beach Boy album everyone gets, but I had All Summer Long before I had my complete collection. So it's just one of those special albums for me. It's just everything I would want from a summer group summer album.
Hushabye, baby.
Oh, that's great.
Man.
Hushabye. Matt, Beach Boys Talk, Matt gives it an 8.5. Matt, get out of the chat. Sandy gives it a 9. Michael, 8.75. DJ Les gives it a 10. Claire. Oh, gives it a 7. I love some of the songs, but 7. Claire, come on.
It's okay, Claire.
Joyce gives it a 9.5. Is it Raul and the Dukes? Man, I hope that's a band name because that's awesome. 9.5.
Yeah, that is.
Chase gives it an 8. Monza gives it a 9. Scott gives it a 9. Don, All Summer Long, 9. Joe Winters, 10. Wallene, 10. Don, do you remember? Oh, do you remember?
Yeah.
Awesome song.
Little Richard sang it and get the Clark run of life. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, lots of 10. Joe Rise gives it a 10. Joe, a good friend from Ohio.
How about Drive-In?
Hey, Joe. Yep, Drive-In's on there.
Drive-In.
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
Okay, Matt, we're out of time. Moving on. What's next?
All right, the next one, every band has to have one of these, and that's the Beach Boys Christmas album with their lead single off of it, Little Saint Nick. That's a great Christmas album. I love Christmas time because I can listen to it. It's awesome. So.
Well, away up north where the air gets cold, there's a tale about Christmas that you've all been told. And a real famous cat all dressed up in red, and he spends the whole year working out on his head. It's the little Saint Nick. It's the little Saint Nick. What's the other one? I wanna
My baby,
meet
she
Santa.
told. Yeah.
I
Oh
wanna
yeah.
meet Santa. I wanna meet Santa.
My favorite one on there.
Santa Claus.
My favorite one on there, other than Little Saint Nick, is "Merry Christmas, Baby." That thing's a rocker. Dennis plays the drums on there too. It's such a cool groove. My baby, she told me she don't wanna hold me. Yeah.
Kiss my lips anymore.
Yeah. What a song, man.
That is a great recording.
Yeah.
For Christmas.
Oh, that's a great
It's almost like that album's almost like the Today album, because there's the pop songs, and then the other material is the music that Brian recorded with Dick Reynolds and the orchestra.
Yeah, all pretty much slow except for Frosty. Yeah, a little different vibe. Yep.
Guys, Fruit Stand reminded us of Wendy, by the way, on All Summer
Yeah,
Long.
I know. I saw that Wendy on All Summer Long.
That's
All right.
again.
Claire gives it a 10.
So
Les
great.
8. See the Wave gives it a 10. Catch a Wave. Monza gives it 9.6.
It's a perennial
9,
Christmas
10,
album.
9.5, 8, 8, 10. This is great. Raoul and the Dukes fits in very well with their main discography. For sure, this album brought families together. It did. I love it. Okay, moving on, guys. We're out of 3, 2, 1. We got to move on to
All right.
next
The next one is one of my personal favorites, as you all know. This is really progression for Brian and the boys. There are no songs about summer or surfing or cars. The first half is kind of upbeat tunes. The second half is all ballads. Again, great covers on here, great ballads. That's the Beach Boys Today. One of their best covers, too, by Dennis on here. Do you want to dance?
And hold my hand. Tell me, baby, I'm your loving man. Oh, baby, do you want to dance? Do you want to dance under the moonlight? Squeeze me, baby, all tonight. Oh, baby, do you want to dance? Oh, do you want to dance? Do you want to dance?
Yeah. Again, you start to hear a lot of that Spectre inspiration. I don't know what you call it, the wall of sound, that echo kind of stuff
100%.
going on. And
Yeah.
and again,
100%.
the second half of that album with "Please Let Me Wonder," "She Knows Me Too Well," "Kiss Me Baby," "I'm So Young." My goodness, what a set of songs. So I give this album a 9.5. Really, it's close for me. It's awesome.
Oh, great. You give it a 9.5? That is
Yeah,
your favorite album. How do you not give it a 10?
Well, I'm just talking about music-wise. It's my favorite to listen to, but I don't think it's their best artistically, if that makes sense.
David, what you got?
I got up, and it's certainly an 8 or a 9 for me too. It's a special album.
Yeah.
It's an absolute 10 for me. Let's go to the group. Don gives it Beach Boys Today up there with Pet Sounds. Les 9.5. See the Wave 10. Claire gives it a 10. Sandy a 10. Monza Media 9.8. This might be the highest one so far. Raoul and Dukes Today 10. Wallene 10. Let's see. Joyce gives it a 9.5. Michael B. Coates Today 9.9. Brian does some of his greatest falsettos on Kiss Me Baby. Absolutely. Chase gives it a 10. Beach Boys Talk Matt, get out of the chat. Joe Rise, don't forget Lord's Prayer. Oh, Lord's Prayer on Michael.
That's great.
Michael,
Yeah.
Where's what does that say? Where's the 8-track? Joe Rice, it's a 20. Yeah, exactly. It is. Andrea says, Dennis, so talented and love seeing and hearing his evolution as a Beach Boy and a solo artist. 35 seconds left, guys. Man, at Matt, agree with you a lot. Les is agreeing with you, Matt. Scott gives it 9.7. Nolan gives it a 9.5 because of Do You Want to Dance? And Les says, Scott, can you be a little more exact? Love it.
He put 9.7.
I love it. Yeah, 9.7, exactly. 9.7, 6, 6, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it. All right, Matt, moving on. What's our next album here?
All right, next album came out July 5th, 1965. It spurned another #1 hit for them, sung by the great Al Jardine, Help Me Rhonda, and that album is Summer Days and Summer Nights.
Well, since you put me down, I've been out doing in my my head. Been there tonight and in the morning I'd say in bed, Rhonda, you look mine, and I can give you lots of reasons why for you to help me, Rhonda, help me get her out of my heart.
Boom, 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 boom.
Help me, Rhonda, 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 yeah, get her out of my heart.
Yeah. Great album for me. I give it overall a 9. I don't think it's as good as Today because we've talked about this a number of times. I just don't think it's as cohesive, but it does have California Girls,
Wrong.
Help Me Rhonda, Let 'Em Run
Wrong.
Wild. One of their greatest opening songs ever, The Girl from New York City.
Girl, don't tell me.
Great album. Yep.
Girl,
Then I
don't
Kissed
tell
Her.
me. Dude, do you need some help here?
Well, it does have I'm Bugged at My Old Man at the end.
Let him run wild. Hello.
You could say I'm bugged at my brother right now.
Yeah, that's right.
David.
I'm bugged at my younger brother.
Dave, what are your thoughts on summer days? Where do you rank it?
I just love it. You know, if I have to put a number to it, which is what we're doing, I'll just put a 9 next to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to me it's my favorite album of all time. I'm sorry. To me it's the best Beach Boys
It's
album.
another great summer album.
I
mean, can you imagine having been alive and been a teenager back then and been a Beach Boy fan, and then in 64, let's say you're 11 or 12 years old and All Summer Long comes out, and then the following year you're 14 or 15 and Summer Days comes out. I mean, just
and you know, and when you look at the Beach Boys history, that's got that quintessential, Beach Boys sound, the Brian harmony on top, the stuff you hear in commercials. When people try to imitate Beach Boys, they're listening to that era, I think,
And this is the album to me that Brian is now aware that he's ahead. To me, this is because of the Today album. I think this album represents Brian well aware of what he's capable of.
Yeah.
Like purposely,
Yeah. With the short amount of time we have, I want to say something real quick. I think that Summer Days, California Girls is when the Beach Boys hit their peak. The Beach Boys as a vocal group, as a pop group.
Yeah.
I think Time to Get Alone is when Brian hit his peak as a writer, as a songwriter. Boom.
Interesting.
There you go. Chew on that, Matt.
Well, what about God Only Knows and Wouldn't It Be Nice? That's his peak.
Yeah,
still in the process.
I don't agree with that.
Still in the process because he had Our Sweet Love to write, which I think is equal to, if not better than, God Only Knows.
All right, let's roll.
Yeah,
okay, moving on. All right, next album.
So after that album, Brian, of course, wanted to go away from the fun and the sun and do something more personal. So he was working on Pet Sounds, but he needed more time to finish it. So the Beach Boys really, by doing something regressive, became kind of progressive. They did almost like the first Unplugged album, and that's the Beach Boys Party, released November 8th, 1965. They did a couple of Beatles covers on there.
That's right.
Pretty good stuff.
Blowing in the wind, Greg. Do Blowing in the Wind.
Yeah.
You cried and why you lied to me. Tell me why you cried and why you lied to me. Well, I gave you everything I had, but you let me sit on my own.
Man, that's a great record. Matt, thoughts?
Yeah. Well, you know what I love about that too? The Beach Boys were at the top of the world in the U.S. They were battling the Beatles, and then they sing Beatle covers. I love that about Brian Wilson, and the Beach Boys, the humbleness. It's a fun album. I really like the Everly Brothers cuts they do. I like There's No Other Like My Baby, that I don't think was released, but it was maybe it was on the album. I don't know if that was a cut that was on later, but I like that one too.
Ruby Baby. Ruby Baby's another
Ruby
good
Baby
one.
was another. It's fun to listen to for what it is, right? I probably give that about a 7.5, overall, because it's mostly covers, but it's good stuff.
David, 50 seconds.
10. It represents.
Wow.
It represents you get to hear the Beach Boys. First and foremost, everyone has to get Party album Uncovered and Unplugged from 2015. It's a 2 CD set. You got to get it. It's all the sessions, not just what made the album. And the post-production of the sound effects of the ashtrays and stuff clinking, that was post-production. That's not on the original sessions.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I gotta listen to that. You've mentioned that before.
The great
Mark
thing
Lynette
is
mentioned it too. Yeah,
it's sessions.
Yeah.
It's the Beach Boys going into a studio and recording songs that they like, in addition to their own recording. So it's a fly on the wall experience, just like Let It Be Naked was, and it's just insightful. How good are they as a band?
Yeah.
Right. You get that because that's what's going on. You get that. Who?
And good call, Michael. Hully Gully. Yep, that's Mountain of Love. There's good ones on there. All right, their next album. Again, Brian needed more time.
So anyway, the Party album is worth. You have to get it.
Okay, Brian. Brian needed more time to write really what most people consider his masterpiece personally, and probably many people think it's the greatest Beach Boys album of all time. Commercially, it didn't do as well as they wanted, although it did go to number 10. And that, of course, is the brilliant, the masterful, any adjective I could think is Pet Sounds.
I keep looking for a place to be in where I can speak my mind. No one wants to help me look for places where new things might be found. They say I got brains, but they ain't doing me no good. I wish they could. Each time things start to happen again, I think I've got something good going for myself, but what goes wrong? Matt!
Sometimes, again, what can I say about it? It is a masterpiece. I love every song on the album. I don't think there's a weak track on there. I just think it flows beautifully. I saw it in concert about 12 times, so maybe I'm biased, but this is my 10. There's no doubt about it for me.
David.
10.
Pretty easy.
It's a coming of age album. And the song you just did, I think that the album is so pop, but when it gets to I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, the way the instrumentation is executed, it's kind of spooky. And the fact that that's all on one album is for me mind-blowing.
Yep. Got a lot of 11s. Pet Sounds, Nolan, 11 out of 10. The first
11.
album.
Well, then I'll give it a 15 if I can do that.
Raul gives it Pet Sounds a 10. Michael gives it a 10. Todd Peters gives it a 9. Explain yourself, sir.
No, Todd, you're fine.
Todd,
you're fine, Todd.
What's going on here?
He gave Surfing USA a 10 and Pet Sounds a 9.
It's okay.
I know it's all relative, right?
That's keeping score there.
It's all subjective.
Les says it would.
Whatever makes you happy.
Les says it would be an 11 if Ding Dang was on Pet Sounds. Agreed. Scott says
let's just make that a common rule for all the Beach Boys albums.
All right, guys, moving on. Next album.
All right,
let's do it.
So Brian, we all know the story of Smile. There's many reasons why it didn't come out, but after that, they just decided to do something simpler. Carl called it a bunt instead of a grand slam. It still featured their biggest selling hit of all time, Good Vibrations. That's the first of the 3 lo-fi albums, and we call this one Smiley Smile.
Sure would like to have a little pet in Hawaii. Do, 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 do,
Probably my favorite song off of that.
I agree on that album. Yeah, I gave it a 7. I love it, but the thing that I don't like about it is Heroes and Villains and Good Vibrations stick out on it because the production's so different, I feel like if it was all lo-fi and all that style, it'd be a little bit higher for me. It's got some weird stuff going on, but it's definitely something I like to listen to. It takes me on a journey, so
100%. David.
I don't even know how to apply a number to it, but to what Matt just said, I've always found Smiley Smile a better listening experience with Good Vibrations removed and You're Welcome added.
Ooh,
I could see that. Yep.
So you don't have Good Vibrations starting. It's Heroes and Villains through to You're Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's a very lo-fi listening experience, and it's different and it's cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Some of these comments are hilarious. Let's go to the chat. Roadside Fruit Stand says Smiley Smile is an 11. Todd Peters 9. Monza Media a 3. Monza, we need to talk.
That's
Monza,
okay.
It's good.
It's good.
I want to know more.
It's,
Don says a 6. Joy says an 8.5. Chase gives it a 6.
On the
Vince,
scale.
it's no smile, but it's an awesome lo-fi experience. 8.5. Fruit Stands, good choice song to play. Thank you. I love Little Pad. It's one of my favorite songs ever. Gene, Smiley Smile, a 4. Wow. Les gives it a 6.5. Macrina Elizabeth Holder. Macrina, are you new on YouTube? Wonderful is a masterpiece. Absolutely it is.
Yes, it is.
Even in the lo-fi experience with Carl and kind of the broken down version, it still is beautiful. Scott gives it a 6. Not one of my favorites, but I do enjoy it in its own way. Joe Rise gives it a 5. And we got 20 seconds left. David, sign us off here. What do you think? Smiley Smile. Give us some more thoughts.
Well, it's like when you're talking about rating it, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like taking a deck of cards and throwing them on the floor and adding all the cards up. That's how I look at the songs on this album. It's an experience, and I just like it. I like it. I don't put it against any other thing that they did because it's so unique and so different.
Love it. Great time, David. Well done. Okay, next album, Matt. What do we got?
Beach Boys released this album exactly 2 months after Smiley Smile. It's another one in the lo-fi. I just love this album. It produced Darlin', Wild Honey, and that's the name of the album, Wild Honey.
I know what I'm going to do on this one. You ready?
Let's do it. Yes. One of my favorites ever.
Let the wind blow on the falling snow. But don't let it go. No, she'll be a part of my life. No, she'll be a part of my life forever.
Yeah, I love this. That I've talked about this a lot. This album has a special place for me. I just love it. Again, it's kind of like what I said about Smiley Smile. All these tracks pretty much are in the lo-fi mode. I love Let the Wind Blow. I love this album a lot. I gave it a 9. I just think it's good. It's a good concept album.
Real quick, Adam Marsland. I don't want to take away from what you just. I'm so sorry, but Adam Marsland just came in with all caps in the chat. Play Cassius. We got to play Cassius versus Love. That's one of the best ones.
Versus Sunny. Yeah.
But Matt, I know it's one of your favorites. One of my favorites too. David, thoughts? Well, by the way, we love Adam Marsland. If you haven't checked out his channel, and he's got a new album coming out called The Owl and the Moon. Is that right? I am so excited to hear this, Adam. Your stuff is great. It's not a new album. I think it's a remix, re-edit. So I'm really pumped to hear that. David, sorry, real quick. Wild Honey, what do you think?
It's beautiful. It's heartfelt and it's pure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was lovely. I wish I could. I'm not going to say anything. Let's go to the chat. Chat's better than I am. Let's see. Scott gives it 8.5. Wild Honey is sentimental favorite. 9. Michael gives it a 9. Les gives it a 7. Dom Bogosh, Wild Honey, 7. How She Bugalooed. I love that song. Chase gives it a 10. Joyce gives it a 7.5. Enrique Perez, put reverb on your voice, Greg. I will do that next time. It sounds much better with reverb. I agree. We got to hide as much as possible. Michael gives it, at this point, album could be the Last by the Beach Boys, 10. Walling gives it a 7. Craig gives it a 10. Hey, Craig. Let's see. Macarena gives it Darlin'. Love Carl. Oh, I forgot about Darlin'. How do we forget about Darlin'? Oh, I Was Made to Love Her. An awesome Stevie Wonder cover. Vince
I love Just Wants to See You is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Vince says, I love the feel of the album. Carl's rocking vocals on Wild Honey and Darlin'. The 2017 Sero mix is amazing and really boosts it for me. Another 8.5. Enrique Echo Chamber. Yeah. Monza gives it a 4. All right, Monza, we got to talk, man. A 3 and a 4. I love it. Wild Honey, a 9 from Raul. Adam, the Owl and the Moon. That's what we call it. I love it. All right, guys,
Adam,
moving on.
Shoot me a private message. I want to shoot news in ESQ.
And I gave it a 9. I love it. The last of the lo-fi albums is probably my favorite of the 3. This was released June 24th, 1968 on Capitol. It's almost like whatever the word is, the precursor to Sunflower, where everybody's involved, and it's called Friends. Yep.
We've been for so many years. We've been together through the good times and the tears. Turn each other on to the good things in life has to give.
You know, it's just so different of an album up to that point. It's got that lo-fi sound, but I just love the way it flows. It's like every song, you know what I mean? You could do it without stopping it and just keep going. They all kind of flow together. You know what I mean? And I like that about it.
Yeah. David, Friends.
When you were just doing that, all I could think about was musical current.
David,
Friends
are you
is
online shopping right now? Are you, be honest.
No, I'm working on
online
ESQ.
shopping?
I'm working on ESQ.
Oh, man. Never not working, this guy. I love it.
That's right. Musical current. That's what Friends is to me. It's really just a very thoughtful musical current.
Yep.
And I love it.
I feel like if Things were an album, this would be something very fluffy and warm that you stick in your pocket. I think it is just, it's like a teddy bear that has a warmer inside of it that you stick in your pocket, and it's a cold day. I think it's just a warm blanket. I think it all goes together so well. It's such a wonderful album. It starts with Meant for You, which is such a wonderful Mike vocal. I think one of his best vocals, and I wish he would have sang like that more. So I love it. Let's go to the chat. Chat, what do you think? See the Wave, Little Bird, of course. Our good friend Stephen Kalinich.
Steve Kalinich. Yeah,
a big part of that, and
huge that he got Dennis's spirit to hold still long enough to capture those.
Yeah, he told great stories about
that. You
should check him out if you haven't seen him.
I do
too.
He's such a cool
great guy. Adam just did a project with him.
Yep. I know. Steven is so nice. He's so awesome.
Yes.
Can we just have him on every show? I think
he's from my hometown. Tony Cohnharzer.
That's right.
Steven's hometown.
Vince, Friends is a great group effort with Brian being sort of at the helm for this one. I'd give it a 9. Scott gives it actually a 9.8. Man, Scott is exact. I like it better than today. He says I like it better than today. Matt, can you believe that?
Because it probably reaches him.
I can understand. Yeah, it's whatever you like.
It's a different type of subject matter.
No, guys,
it's a different subject matter.
Sorry, guys, I'm not going to agree with you on that. I think that's
well, I don't like it better than today. I'm just saying I can understand why somebody would say that.
I think if you look at it, we're done. Sorry, I'm sorry.
All right,
I understand making a deep connection to the Friends.
All right, next album.
Okay,
here we go.
last studio album of the 60s, and also the last one of the 60s on Capitol, released February 10th, 1969. They kind of go back to their roots a little bit more in this album. That's the 2020 album, named for their 20th release with Capitol. Go ahead, sorry.
I looked at you, baby, and what did I see? I saw love in your eyes, made me feel so warm inside. Now look at me, baby, and what do you see? You see love in my eyes, beaming just for you, and now we know it's time to get along, and just be together. We'll get along together. Come and do a couple days just away from the people, a city full of people.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of nice songs on here, but to me, there's a lot of songs that aren't so great. I give it, and they got some Smile recycled songs on there. I give it a 7.
Go ahead.
I do love I Went to Sleep a lot. That's my favorite on the album. I Went to Sleep and Do It Again. And Do It Again are my two favorites.
I love how I Went to Sleep goes perfectly into Time to Get Alone.
It does.
I don't know if they played it.
I Went to Sleep should have been on Friends, though, man. It's the same kind of thing.
Matt, you just said, but there's a lot of ones that are bad. Go ahead. Name me one. Go ahead.
All I Want to Do.
Damn it. Okay, fine. That's not a great one. Okay, fine.
That Manson song I don't like.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Right. Never mind. I'm sorry.
You asked me. I'm just saying.
David. All right, David. Thoughts. 2020.
I enjoy it. It was one of those albums I discovered early and bought it as the. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them. Warner Brothers released in the mid 70s, 2020 with Friends Are Wild Honey and Smiley Smile with Friends or something to that effect. And it just came in these beige twofold gatefold thing that it didn't have the original album art on it. So when I got them for the first time, I didn't have the original artwork to derive what I thought of the album. I just had what I was listening to. And so it was like a palm tree, a girl silhouette on a palm tree was the cover art for both of these sets. And so I didn't have anything to put to these albums. So that's what I put. So the visualization that I got was like, I fell in love with the Smile material immediately. So Cabinetscence is my favorite song. Our Prayer is just gorgeous. Wherever any album it would be on, it's gorgeous. And it's a perfect example of their voices being communicators with God.
Wow. Chase gives it a 6. Michael, 9. A beautiful patchwork quilt. Joyce gives it a 7. Vince, 2020
love
is such
that patchwork quilt. That's
me too. Me too. Nice job. 2020 is such a mixed bag of goodies. Not as good as Friends, but better than Wild Honey, in my opinion. 8.7. Monza, 8.5. About time, Monza. Got above a 4 here. Tom Maddox,
he didn't like
8.
the lo-fis.
Scott, 9.5. I love it. Oh, we're out of time. We're out of time.
All right.
We got to move on.
Summer in Paradise.
The first album on Reprise, and the Beach Boys will stay on Reprise all the way through the Light album. This was truly a group effort. It's been featured lately and gotten its final due with the Feel Flows box set, and that is the Sunflower album. Commercially disastrous, but artistically amazing.
The Sunday morning gospel goes good with the soul. This blues, folk, and country, and rock like a rolling stone. The world could come together as one if everybody under the sun could add some music to your day. Ready, Matt? Here we go. Music when you're alone is like a companion for your only soul. Oh, 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 oh.
Yeah, since we've had that Mark on and Alan and David, of course, and I got the Feel Flow set. I've been listening again, and I really have grown to love this album a lot more than I used to. I would say overall, I would give it about an 8, though. It doesn't move me the way Today does and Pet Sounds and those lo-fis, but I do respect it and I do like it a lot. Yep.
Love it. David.
No, it's as people are now discovering, it's a prime example of excellent songwriting and execution. Voices as instruments.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yep.
Yeah, I have to give it a 9. I think it's to me, I think from a production standpoint, recording standpoint, I think it's absolutely excellent. Probably the
Steve
best.
Desper's name should be absolutely mentioned.
To me, that's why I put it so high. It's not. I think the songs are fantastic, absolutely. But when you compare it with the earlier Beach Boy albums, the only reason I put it up that high is because of the recording quality. I think it is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Let's go to the chat. Let's see what the chat has to say. Monza gives it an 8.3.
Yay!
8.3.
All right.
We love you, Monza.
We love you, Monza. Zach is awesome. Joe gives it a 10. Les gives it an 8. See the Wave, Tears in the Morning. Absolutely. That song gives me tears in the morning. Joe Rice, this song gets a 10. Enrique, Sunflower,
like an onion?
10. Exactly. Todd gives it a 10. What did Todd give earlier that was so crazy?
I don't remember.
Todd gave an odd number.
Oh, he gave what was it? It was Today it was Surfing USA a 10, and then he gave like something else like a 5, but it was like one of their awesome albums.
Yeah, Todd, we love you. Nolan,
it's all good, yeah.
Nolan gives Sunflower 10 out of 10. So many great songs on this album that get better the more times. By the way, we love you all so much. This is really just fun.
Yeah, this is fun. Yeah,
having a good time. Joyce gives it a 10. Joyce, wow, Joyce, is that
coming
your first?
Strong.
That might be Joyce's first 10. Joey Rice gives it a pie.
Love it,
so
Joyce.
3.14 from Joyce, from Joe. Jimmy Kasroff gives it a 9. Hey Jimmy, Tom gives it a 10, and we are done. That's the timer. All right, moving on.
After kind of the commercial failure of Sunflower, the Beach Boys kind of looked for a new direction. They hired Jack Riley, and they kind of became more socially aware with the other album that is featured on Feel Flows, and that of course is the Surf's Up album.
A diamond necklace paid the ball, and a handsome drummed along, whoa, to a handsome man in baton. The blind class aristocracy, back through the opera glass you see the pin in the pendulum drawn. Call them needed ruins down. Canvas the town and brush the backdrop. Are you sleeping, brother man?
I actually have a brother, John.
I'm getting close. No, I'm kidding. You know, I like the album. We've talked about this ad nauseum now. I would give it about a 7. I think the fact that the best song on it is Surf's Up from Smile takes it down a little bit. Until I Die, of course, is my favorite song, and The Day in the Life of a Tree are my two favorites.
So good.
Carl really shines on that album with Long Promise Road and Field Flows.
Absolutely.
But there's something about the sound of it. I think Sunflower sounds better production wise. I don't know. It's just not one of my favorite albums, but
Yeah,
you know.
David.
I've appreciated more than I ever have, having just done the Surf Up edition of ESQ, and with the Feel Flow set coming out, you know, being able to hear Day in the Life of a Tree is just the track with the backing vocals. So definitely a new appreciation, but probably a 7. Not because I don't think it's cool, that I don't think it's interesting with all the commentary on social and ecological, because I love it and appreciate it for all those things. But if I'm putting it next to Pet Sounds, or if I'm putting it next, you know, an album that means a lot to me that I really enjoy, even the Party album, which means a lot to me because I get to hear and visit with the Beach Boys. Yeah. So there's no getting around the quality of the songwriting.
Yeah.
Till I Die is the perfect example, you know. Yeah. Saying a 7 to have to put a number to it is not by any stretch of the imagination saying that I don't have a deep appreciation for the quality and the genius behind Till I Die.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Let's go to the chat. Here we go. Andrea, it's such a great album. Glad it got the box treatment talking about Sunflower. Noah, Sunflower, 11 for 10. Okay, we got to. By the way, Noah, welcome. I don't know if you're near. Enrique, can you play Cool Cool Water? Yes, I would love to. Let's see. Les says Surf's Up 8.1 because I gave Sunflower an 8. Beach Boys Talk, Matt. Matt, get out of the chat. Why are you even in there? Raul,
why can't I show my vote?
Matt, get in there.
Because we just asked you what your opinion was. Raul and the Duke, enough. Surf's Up 9.5. Tom 10. See the Wave 9.6. Sandy 9. Noah, Columnated Rumens Damen. No. Noah's singing along with us here. Michael a 9. See the Wave, Long Promise Road. Enrique, Surf's Up 9.5. Monza gives it a 7.2. Monza, I'm just gonna laugh at all your.
You need to have Monza come on and sing.
I know
with you guys.
He's so good. He really is. He's got a great voice.
That's all our bell, I think.
That is our bell. I'm sorry.
All right,
okay,
next one was
album.
released May 15th, 1972. It had Bruce leaving the band. I think he sang on a couple of the tracks in the background, but it introduced Blondie and Ricky Fattar. Blondie Chaplin, Ricky Fattar.
Okay, here we go.
This is Carl and the Passion So Tough.
Is that on this album? Is
yes,
right?
It's the opener. Yeah.
I need a band blowing softly to keep my wind down and fancy. I need a whole lot of sunshine to keep my wind down and fancy. I need some sauce on my soul, yeah. I need some salmon bone bell, yeah. If you're right, I'll never jump and dive when you know mercy help to stand alone.
What a great drum fill there by Ricky. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean?
By the way, I love the lyrics of that song, which I don't know.
Yeah, the song is this. Well, when you actually read them, it's pretty neat. It's all these different metaphors about what you need to survive, kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
Cool. Check that out. Yeah.
I give that album about a 7.5. It's growing on me. It's one of those albums, I'll be honest, I had not listened to that much until recently. After we talked to Alan and he talked about they're working on a box set now for this album in Holland. it kind of intrigued me again to listen to it. So it's growing on me a lot. It's got Marcella on it too, which is a great track. All This Is That.
Yeah, that's right.
Is really good. So, yep. And of course, Hold On to Your Brother is a nice song. There's some good ones on there. So.
I love Hold On to Your Brother. We need to give another look at Carl and the Passions.
Yeah,
David,
we do.
What do you think?
I can't wait for whatever they do with the Carl and the Passion album, like they did with the Feel Flow set. I can't wait, because
me too.
That's just, if you listen, if anybody has the 5-disc set, the last 2 tracks on disc 5 are Marcella and what's the other one?
Mess of Help, I think.
Mess of Help, yeah. And one of them's a cappella, and it's so vibrant, and it's like nothing that we've ever heard before.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for that reason, that I think we're going to get to hear Carl and the Passions So Tough like we've never heard it before.
I can't wait. I'm serious about that. And Andrea Marie said Cuddle Up. That's another good Dennis too.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to the chat. Adam Marsland says, by the way, Adam, thank you for being here. Adam's an awesome guy. It got great content.
Great music.
Great story. I was being entertained by a club owner and his wife in the Philippines a few years ago, who I had just done a gig for and invited me over for dinner. They had some Beach Boys on the stereo, and quite drunk, I stumbled over to the piano and started playing Long Promised Road and The Traitor for no particular reason other than that I knew them pretty well. When I was done, my host informed me he owned half the publishing of both songs. He was a longtime friend of Jack's. Happily, he did not charge me for dinner. Man,
that's awesome.
That is a rough way to end that.
Right? How great!
Yeah, awesome.
But they were connected by that. That's cool.
So Tough. Noah gives it a 6 out of 10. Opener, Marcella, and Cuddle Up are the only songs I don't skip, but all this has been bopping lately. Jimmy, 6.5. Julie, 9. Hi, Julie. Monza, give me the B-side only, if you know what I mean. 4. Joe Winters, 8. Vince, I love it. 8.75. Nolan, Andrea, Cuddle Up. Monza, I love it. Okay, we got to move on. I'm sorry. The timer is up.
Next album is considered another triumph of the 70s. It was released January 8th, 73. The Beach Boys needed a change of scenery, so they recorded this album in Holland, and they aptly named it Holland. So there we go.
I love so many things that I feel that I've only felt with you, only with you. Then there are the things that we do that I've only done with you on Beach Boys Talk.
Oh. Nice. All right, Matt, what you got?
Yeah, again, you talked about Mark Schuster. This opened my eyes again. I give it a solid 8.5. It's different. It's not the Beach Boys you're used to listening to, in the mid 60s, but it's cohesive. It's really beautiful. Again, it has a lot of different songwriters. I like it a lot. Yep.
David.
I don't know where to rate it.
Do it.
It's not as special to me as other albums are. It's really. I enjoy certain elements, but it's not as special to me as those other albums.
How dare you? Give it a number. Come on.
Ambiguous.
Throw a Monza on there. Throw like a 4.
David, we are not moving on until you give it a number.
It'd be higher. It'd be higher than a 4. Oh God.
Lower than a 7?
No, I've always, I don't understand why there's only 8 tracks. It's just like a short album, and it's for that reason it doesn't feel complete. And again, now that we have Field Flows, I see all these extra Dennis tracks. I'm like, why? Right. So it's just, I like what it is. I like that it's so different. I like that Blondie and Ricky are so involved, and I love the funk that comes out of that. Yeah. So of those elements, because they're so different, it's different than any other Beach Boys album.
Yeah.
And just for the funk elements, just for what Blondie and Ricky bring,
yeah,
I give it an 8. Just for that experience. And Daryl Dragon. That whole experience. It's cool.
Okay,
all this is a favorite.
So David's giving it a 10. We got 30 seconds left. Here we go. Noah gives it. Oh, Noah says The Traitor. Absolutely. Michael, I have to get more familiar with Carl and the Passions. Me too, Michael. Sandy gives it a 10. Adam says, Adam's hot take. Disco Here Comes the Night is better than Steamboat. Oh, Adam,
that's going to leave me sideways.
Adam is kicked off the show.
Wow.
Raul in the Duke says Holland is a 10. Claire, Holland 100. Claire, I love you. I think you're awesome. Scott gives it a 9. See the Wave gives it 9.1. Les gives it a 9. Noah, Holland is a great album. Love the Mount Vernon EP too. 9 out of 10. Let's get through these real quick. Todd gives it an 8. Don, Holland, Steamboat 8.0. Joe Winters 9. Joyce 9. Tom Maddox, We Got Love should have been on the album. Agreed.
Yes, agreed with that.
Chase me.
Instead of
everybody,
Sail on Sailor.
This is our first bad one. Jace Mihan gives it a 4. Andrea says Sail on Sailor, amazing. My absolute favorite Beach Boys song. Let's play a little bit.
I sailed in ocean, unsettled ocean, through westful waters and deep commotion, uninspired, unenlightened. Sail on, sailor.
What's up next, Matt?
All right. After that, the Beach Boys didn't put out, and they put out Endless Summer back on Capitol, and that kind of made them, brought them back in popularity playing stadiums. And with that, you know, Brian, they say, was kind of a recluse. He came out and they did the big Brian is Back tour, and they released the album 15 Big Ones, which is a lot of covers and some originals. Yep.
Had to phone you just to talk with you. And alone, W. And it's my spirit every single time. Sometimes you're happy for a while, but when I get through, it makes me smile.
Smile.
Had to phone you when California's not so far away.
Man, I wish I could play that song because it's
Hey,
awesome.
David, wasn't that an American Spring song too? Had the phone you? Am I wrong about that? Didn't they record that?
They sing
Really?
backing vocals on that.
I thought they did it on their album.
They-
Maybe not.
They may. Right off the top of my head,
Yeah.
I can't quite remember, but I know they sing on that.
Anyway,
Oh, God.
I give this album about a 6. My favorite song on it actually is the cover of Palisades Park. I just feel like David was kind of
so
David was alluding to before, like there's all these songs in the vault, and they had a lot of songs they recorded in 74, 75. Yet they do a whole, mostly covers. And I just feel like they could have put out some original stuff, but I do like Carl and Palisades Park. That thing's rocking. So
Yeah. Matt, they did. I'm looking at it. I just listened to it.
they did. Okay. Yeah.
They
So
did.
even that was an earlier song, right? Had
Yeah.
the phone you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Macarena Elizabeth is reminding me of Susie Cincinnati. David, what do you think about 15 Big Ones?
Well, it's all about when I came across it. I liked that rock and roll music was on it. I liked It's Okay. The oldies, when I listened to the whole album, nothing really kind of captured me or stood out to me. I liked it, but just for me, it's kind of it's a warm album, but it's probably in the 6 to 7 category.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go to the chat. Let's see. Chat says we got to get to it here. Man, I'm not on it right now. I'm sorry. Sandy 7.5. Scott 3. Wow. See the Wave 8. Tom 8. Les 6.25. Vince 15 Big Ones is such a hit or miss for me. There's some songs I love, some songs I dislike. For me, it's a 6.5. Monza gives it a 5. Alan has suggested 15 Big Ones. Adam Marsland, by the way. 15 Big Ones would be much better with a different mix, and certainly Haddophonia's track, heard on its own, is revelatory. Stunning considering it happened in 1976.
Yeah, the
And we
music's
gotta
cool.
stop.
The background.
Let's go through these real quick. Don says 6.0, don't call me, I'll call you. Joyce says 7. Nolan, 15 Big Ones. Second album I got off the Beach Boys. I give it a 6.5 because of that. Dennis signing in the Still of the Night is still positive. Singing in Still of the Night. Raul, 15 Big Ones, a 6. Joe, 7. Noah, the cover of In the Still of the Night is better than the original in my opinion. 15 Big Ones, 7 out of 10. Macarena told us Susie Cincinnati, great call. Wait, is that on Love You or 15 Big Ones?
Susie Cincinnati's on 15 Big Ones.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, good. Claire says 8. Love It's Okay and Susie Cincinnati. I love it. All right, Matt, moving on. Here we go. What's our next record?
Brian got more comfortable, and he originally wanted to name this album Brian Loves You. He did a lot of the synths and most of the music himself. All original songs. It's called The Beach Boys Love You. It's a very divisive album. A lot of people love it.
So young and everything still, the moon shining bright on my windowsill. I think of her lips, it chills me inside. Then I think, why does she have to hide? Is somebody gonna tell me why she has to hide?
All right, brother Matt, what you got?
I got an 8 on this one. I like it. I know it's quirky, but it's Brian at the time, and I love listening to it. Again, it doesn't sound like the Beach Boys necessarily, but Honking Down the Highway's got some nice stuff. I'll Bet He's Nice is my favorite song on the album. I love that one.
Song,
and Airplane's
song,
good.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, about an 8.
Yeah. All right, David, what you got for this one?
Oh, for me, again, it's so hard to put a number on such a thing because we just get to see Brian and listen to and experience Brian's personality and soul on this. It's such a unique. There are very few albums in the lexicon in the music world that are like this, where you get to really experience the person and their personalities through music and in this way. And so from that respect, I give it a high number, an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
From the overall, how great is it from the pop sensibility arena? I can't, it's more like a 6. Yeah. But from the perspective of I get to experience Brian, it's such a mood. For me, it's a very moody album. And I have to almost be in the mood that Brian is in when he recorded this, to be in the mood to listen to it.
Yeah. Let's go to the chat. Julie Lipson is 7. Michael Coates is 6. Craig Newman, I've listened to each of these albums for so long as I went through so much that they're all woven into my DNA. That's really nice. I can't rate them. I just love each one for what it is, but I'm really enjoying this show. Hey, Craig, thank you. I appreciate that compliment. We have fun, Craig. Too. Jimmy, I think we may be still on 15 Big Ones. I'm sorry, guys. Raul, love you. 9.5. Let's go through these real quick because I want to get to the chat. Vince, I see why people love you, but it's really not my tea. 8 out of 10. It's still solid. Todd Peters, 8.5. Don, love you, 6.0. Greg Shady, love you, 10. Beach Boys fan forever. Crap, I totally forgot the stream was tonight. That's okay, Allison. We're happy you're here. We're talking.
Hey, Allison.
We're doing like a.
I was talking about you earlier.
That's
we're
right.
We're doing a 60th anniversary retrospective where we're taking 2 minutes on each album and going through them. And right now we're on Love You. So tell us what you think. Rate Love You 1 through 10. Jimmy, easy, 10 for Love You. Scott, 9 for Love You. Great stuff. Alexia, hi Alexia. I think Alexia might be new or newish. Love You is a 10.10 easily. Thanks Alexia for being here. Adam Marsland, I think it's hard for younger people in post-indie rock world to get just how Love You was when it came out. Just how crazy it was. W2F. Nothing remotely like it was heard in the U.S. on the radio until Human League came out in 81, and that was an entire another context. Man, that's a really good point. Joyce gives it a 7. Like Beach Boys talk, Matt. Oh, sorry, that's.
I didn't put one in there.
I'm sorry. Tom gives it a 5, maybe 6. Joe gives it an 8. Nolan, Mona is a spectacular song from this album. Noah, Good Time is my favorite track. I love Good Time. That's my favorite too. Sunflower, am I going to go with Ding Dang? 10-10. I hate Ding Dang so much. Owen Hassel, Johnny Carson. That's right, Johnny Carson. Matt, moving on. What's our next record?
Next album, Beach Boys had a little acrimony amongst themselves. Mike and our friend Ron Outback and Al Jardine and Brian went to Iowa to the Maharishi Institute University, built a studio, and created the MIU album, released October 2nd, 1978.
This is like your favorite album. I had this one ready.
There's something so special about it, just what I can't quite say.
Oh, yes.
But there's no doubt it's different from any other day. There are no words to exactly describe what I'm thinking of. It's just a sweet Sunday kind of love. I can't wait to
see the face. I can't wait. All right, Matt, what do you think?
Oh man, I'm biased, but just from the listening point of view, this album makes me smile. I love it. I give it a 9, man. MIU's a solid 9. Y'all take that on the chat.
I think you're the one who's going to be taking something shortly.
Probably. You're about to get a lot of 4s and 5s.
I don't care. I love it. I'll go to bat for it. I love it. Mm-hmm. Sweet Sunday Kind of Love.
Change. I think Sweet Sunday Kind of Love, Winds of Change.
Winds of Change, Pitter Patter.
My Diane.
Yeah, My Diane. Won't you come out tonight? There's some good songs on there. What's the tennis one? Match Point of Our Love. There's some good ones on there.
Well, come go with me, right?
Come Go With Me's on there. Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the chat. What does the chat have to say about the
MIU
album? Let's see if anybody agrees with Matt. I cannot wait for the MIU episode. We're going to do a whole episode on MIU. Hey, Greg, do She's Got Rhythm. Hey, Adam, you do She's Got Rhythm. I hate that song, Adam.
I love it.
Raul says MIU album. Raul gives it a 4.5. Wow, fantastic. Vince, MIU is a guilty pleasure of mine. 9 out of 10. You and Matt need to hang out. Nolan, MIU, 5 out of 10. Only because My Diane and Come Go With Me. Michael B. Coates, I have to go. Thanks, guys, for a great time. Michael, thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Have a good night, my friend. Yeah, good seeing you. Come join us next week. No, not next week. We're off. Claire is 7. See the Wave. Match Point of Our Love. Yeah, I know. Todd Peters, 8. We got 30 seconds here. Monza, haven't heard that one yet either. Oh, Monza, well, you got to at least check it out. And then give us your
You're missing
score.
out, man.
Yeah, Les gives it MIU. Give it an 8.9. Kona Coast. Peggy Sue, She's Got Rhythm. My Diana, enjoy.
Thank you, Les.
Joyce gives it a 7. Joe gives it an 8. Tom gives it a 5. See the Wave. I can listen to Hey Little Tom, but I can or can't. Macarena, Winds of Change. Yeah, we love Winds of Change. Great tune. And Ron Outback, a big part of that. Greg Shady, I can't help it. I love MIU, even Tomboy. It gets a 10. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. All right, Matt, next record. Okay. Let's go.
You're a little bit surprised with those, huh? All right, the next
Very
one
surprised.
and the final one on actually the last one was, this is on a new label, the Caribou label. What was that guy's name? David?
Jim Gershow?
Jim Gershow, yeah. And this was the 1979, March 19th, the LA Light album. Yeah,
late at night for the whole world.
Just for that track alone, I'll give this album an 8. It's Dennis's last track on an album, and it's such a way to finish off. He also wrote Carl wrote Angel Come Home, but Dennis sings it. That's a really cool song too.
No, Dennis wrote Angel Come Home, didn't he?
Are you sure? I think Carl wrote it and Dennis sings it. I think
Angel Come Home is so good.
Yeah, and there's again, it's got a different sound to it, laid back. It does have that disco Here Comes the Night. Some people love it or hate it, but I like it.
It's pretty rough. David.
Well, I just love the fact that you guys just touched on the most important part of this album, which is Carl and Dennis. We go back to, we've been talking about San Miguel and how great San Miguel is.
Yeah.
It's Carl and Dennis. Whenever you have Carl and Dennis, there's always something really unique and special. And
Carl wrote Angel Come Home. Claire, is that true? David, who wrote Angel Come Home?
I don't have it in front of me, but I believe that's right.
I could check.
Isn't that Jeffrey Cushing Murray? And
I could check right now. Hold on.
Yeah,
I love
Jeffrey Cushing Murray.
Angel Come Home was Carl Wilson and Cushing Murray. Yep, and Dennis sings it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, Dennis sings
and
it.
Baby Blue.
Right.
Baby Blue was written by who?
Dennis.
Blue is
both of them, I thought.
Baby Blue is Dennis Wilson, Greg Jacobson, and Karen Lamb.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and so anytime, it really didn't matter who wrote it, but
I love it.
Anytime that those two wrote a song together, it's just really special. I mean, anything they did, familial.
You love the cross-pollination on this album, and you kind of wish, in retrospect, looking at the past albums, why there wasn't more of this going on, because they clearly knew that I'm not right for this song. You are. You're not. I'm not. You're not right for this song.
I wish if they'd continued with that Sunflower vibe of what let's come together and work on an album.
Exactly.
There's no telling what the stuff would have been.
It also has Lady Linda on there. One of Al's big achievements was Ron Outback. Yep.
That's just a huge. That's a monster recording. Power ballad.
All right. Let's see. We got Raul and the Dukes LA Light album 6.5. Oh, Raul.
Mm-hmm.
Claire Caribou Ranch Forever 10. See the Wave 9.2.
Mm-hmm.
Full Sail. Noah Newhouse. Love me some Lady Linda, but not some light album. 2 out of 10. Is that our lowest score?
That's gotta be.
Well, it's probably.
Ask
people. I'm wondering on the chat if it's because of the disco.
Come on, Noah.
Is it the disco?
I don't know.
Why the 2?
Todd
gives it a 7.
If you take off the disco, is it better?
Yeah, I love it. Let's give it a 7.
I think if you get rid of, when you have quality like the songs we're talking about, I mean, I like Brian's Shortening Bread, don't get me wrong, but it's a throwaway, it's a clunker. And if you take that off and you take disco off and put on some other meatier recordings like It's a Beautiful Day.
Yeah.
I love that one.
You know,
these are
California Feeling, maybe something like that.
Our good friend of the show, Allison, Beach Boys fan forever, says 9. LA might be in my top 5.
There you go, Allison.
Maybe she likes the disco.
She likes Sumahama, probably.
Sumahama is a good song.
I like Sumahama.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Joyce Garrison 8, Sandy 7.5. I love it. Don't forget about Good Timing, guys. 8.5 from Carl.
That's Carl and Brian writing together.
Yeah,
I love it. All
great
right, Matt.
song.
Moving on. What do we got next?
All right,
buddy?
their first album of the '80s was released March 24th, 1980.
I got one.
This is one of my favorite albums as well.
Ready.
Greg and I both like this one. It's Keeping the Summer Alive. And there's an ESQ about this. I enjoyed it. Yeah. No, that's 85, dude.
Wait, what album did you say?
You're skipping.
Keeping the Summer Alive. Going on.
We were gonna. Oh, that's you going on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
I'm sorry. I am like 2 albums ahead of you guys.
It's getting late. What can I say? It's getting late.
It's getting late. Now you're gonna take us back to 85 again.
When in the morning I must arrive, I look in the mirror, it couldn't be clearer, something is gone from my eye, going on, I love you, I miss you, things won't be the same till I'm with you. I'm empty without you. My heart's filled with my arms around you.
Yeah, he does that cool chord change there. Yeah.
All right, Matt, what you got?
That's a killer tune. I give it about a 7, but a lot of nice songs. Living with a Heartache, Oh Darling, keep the title track. They're all nice. Some of Your Love, they're all some nice songs on there. Yeah. Sunshine. I like it. Yep.
Yeah. David.
That's one of the albums I discovered when I started getting into the Beach Boys. One of the first ones I got into, where I really dug in, and the song that just spoke to me the most when I first heard it was "Some of Your Love," because it reminded me so much of the early Beach Boys songs that I had been exposed to, and so it just reminded me it was like "Be True to Your School" vibe, or "Come Go with Me." It had kind of both. It had the doo-wop and I loved it for that reason. And as I got older, the rest of the album kind of flourished a little bit as I got older and appreciated what each person was bringing to the table in terms of songwriting. And, I don't like that Dennis is not there, but otherwise I give it an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, there's some bias here. Robert White Johnson obviously is starting to get into the fold here, and he's a friend of the show, and he's been on. He's really awesome in this time period with the Beach Boys. But I really think that Keeping the Summer Alive is one of the most underrated and underappreciated Beach Boys albums, simply because of the time period. It's got the 80s production, which I think people are like, it's a little rough to hear or whatever. I think it is a great record. I mean, Keeping the Summer Alive is fantastic. Matt, Where I Belong, is that Keeping the
That's
Summer
85.
Alive?
That's the next one.
Dang
Yep.
it. What else is on Keeping the Summer?
Keeping the Summer Alive as Living with a Heartache.
Oh,
yeah. And on this album,
Oh Darling, right?
Carl was working with Randy Bachman, not
right,
Randy
Bachman,
Johnson.
yeah.
Randy Bachman.
To be loved is so inspiring.
Yeah, that's a great Wilson Love collaboration right there. Yeah.
That record is really underappreciated. I can't wait to do an episode on that.
And it's got one of my favorite Bruce songs, Endless Harmony, on it too. I like that one.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Sing us a bit.
Carl comes in.
Go ahead.
Ocean lovers who like to harmonize.
They're all cousins, friends, and brothers.
That's pretty good.
They make their mamas cry.
I like the middle part.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
but
pretty
anyway.
good. Raul, Keeping the Summer Alive, 6.5. Come on, Raul. Really? Claire, lots of 10s. Les, 6.5?
Just
Come on.
West Coast
Seems like Endless
boys.
Harmony. Beach Boys fan forever. Allison gives it a 6. Going on literally carries the whole album.
It does, and it does it well.
Yeah, it does. Owen. Oh, hey, Owen. Keeping the Summer Alive has one of the cooler album covers. No pun intended. 7. I love it.
I got a shirt with that album cover. I like it. Yeah.
Chase agrees. This album is very much underrated, I must say. Noah, I'm so sorry for the low score. LA and Keeping the Summer Alive aren't my favorites, but Keeping the Summer Alive is slightly better for me. This one's definitely a 6. What? Joyce, a 7.5. Don gives it a 6.5. Greg Shady, a 10. Vince gives it a 7 out of 10, but he reminds me of Sunshine, which I love so much. And to me, Sunshine sounds like a very early version of what you might hear on a Brian Wilson solo album.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of sounds like 85 a little bit, right?
Yeah. I love that. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Marsland says, you guys missed me raving about how great Light Album is, so I'm going to say it's great and much better than Keeping the Summer Alive, whatever, which has comparatively flat production that makes the plotty songs plottier, but I love the title track plus Santa Ana Wins. I love Santa Ana Wins.
Santa Ana Wins rocks, yeah.
And the early version of Santa Ana Wins was even more ambient.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, we're almost done here. What's our next record?
So after this one, the Beach Boys take a little break. Unfortunately, we lose, brother Dennis during this time. Beach Boys say they're going to go on, and so they kind of have a little comeback in June 10th, 1985 with just the Beach Boys, That's where Robert White Johnson and Carl write a lot of music on that one together.
Let's see. I want to sing a little bit of Where I Belong because I think that's such an underrated record.
That's the best song on the album, probably. Maybe Get You Back. I like too.
How does it start? Somebody remind me of the lyrics.
I can't tell you.
Come on, Matt.
Play the chorus.
Now that I find you right where I belong. I found my home.
Towards the nearest of sun. I could have loved you forever if your love hadn't come. Oh, it's the love of a You are my guiding star that never gets me up. Need to search no more as
Darling, where I live.
I found you right where I belong. Never been as much at home as I
Home is where I am.
found you right where I belong.
Matt.
Yeah, that's another album I didn't listen to a lot, but it's grown on me. I'd probably give it about a 7, but Where I Belong could be great on. That's like Today. It could be on Today. It's a great album. Yeah, and Get You Back is a good album opener for a comeback album because you have that Brian on top and Mike singing. It's
Matt. It's getting late, man. Passing Friend.
Yeah.
What? These songs are
and
awesome.
the Brian tune Male Ego is a pretty cool song too. I like that one. Yeah.
David, what do you think about 80?
I love this album.
Yeah.
It was when I was really beginning to get immersed into the Beach Boys, and for this album to have Brian Wilson back in the again, Dennis died. Now what? And you come back with an album that has that Brian falsetto right in there, kicking out, right out of the gate. I love it. I think it's one of the best. Decades. I'm talking in terms of album Beach Boy familiar pop album opener. It's to me, for me, it's personal because I loved it. I discovered it when it happened. I got it. I bought it when it happened, when it was released. So I lived it. And so absolute 10 for me. 10.
Yeah. Love it.
Wow.
Let's go to the chat. Wow, David, I did not know that about this record with you. I love it. Beach Boys 85. Vince gives it 85. Gives it a 9.5 out of 10. She Believes in Love Again. Is that on 85?
That's on there. Yeah. Bruce's tune. Yep.
Love it. See the Wave. Thanks for that. Beach Boys fan forever gives it a 6 or 7. Claire gives it a 7 less. Noah, David Marks killed Get You Back on the 50th anniversary tour. Yeah,
he sang it. Yeah,
totally. Joyce gives it a 7. Joe, 8.5. Get You Back. Adam Marsland, 85. Love Me Somewhere I Belong. I also enjoy Carl's Maybe I Don't Know. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Which everyone seems to hate.
Carl
but boy, do I want Passing Friend to fall off a cliff. Well, whatever, Adam.
He's not really your friend then.
We need to have
Adam said that. Adam said that.
Adam, why don't you just come on the show and hang out with us for one of these times?
Yeah, Adam needs to be on the show.
Stop playing hard to get. He's one of the hardest guests to get on here. See the Wave, Male Ego, absolutely. Good call. Chase Mihan C. If the album was stripped down and performed like you're doing it, Greg, I'd like it, but the production ruins it for me. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think you're.
No, that's a product of the times.
Yeah,
Steve
like
Levine.
cheesy,
Levine was like the guy behind Culture Club, and they went to him and thought,
Yeah, Matt Green says, Passing Friend and Get You Back. Thank you. I love Passing Friend. Owen Hassel, easily best Beach Boy album of the 80s.
Passing Friend, written by Boy George, by the way.
Yeah, really cool. All right, Matt.
Stevie one there. Okay.
Matt, we've only got a couple left here, I think, right?
Yeah, we got 2 left because we got 3 left. We're going to skip one. But, okay, so the next one came out as a vehicle around Kokomo. And at first it was supposed to be just songs that appeared in movies. But then Brian added one called In My Car. So Al added one called Island Girl. But the album is called Still Cruising. It's got some new songs. Yeah, and then it's got some songs that are old as well from movies. And I'll be right back.
All right, let's see Make It Big. I love this song. Do you like this song, David?
Yeah, I don't care about the movie it's in, but I do like this song.
I love this song. Let's sing it. Let's do a little bit of it while Matt's gone. Make it big. So big, you can make it bigger than life. See your name spelled right up on the bright lights. Ooh, have a little faith in yourself and everything that you do. Oh, you're gonna make it big if you want to, if you really want to. Baby, you're a superstar, looking like you're going far. Do what you want, do what you wanna. You could be a movie queen up there on the movie scene. Do what you want, do what you wanna. I love this song. Oh, also, we should do a little bit tribute to this, right? Off the Florida Keys, there's a place called Kokomo. That's where you wanna go to get away from it all. Down in Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you Bermuda. Come on, pretty mama, can I go on to? Ooh, I wanna take you down to Kokomo. Get there fast and then we'll take it slow. That's where we wanna go. Way down in Kokomo. Make it big. Still cruising. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I like, half the album's like old 60s tunes. So take that for what it is. But I do love Make It Big. I really like Kokomo. I know I like the Brian Wilson stuff, but I think Kokomo is such a really poppin' song. Carl's got that awesome vocal in the middle.
Yeah,
I like Still Cruising Somewhere. Actually, all the new songs on that album are great. Really.
Great.
Yeah.
In My Car, right? Is that
one?
One
In My Car. Island Girl is cool. Somewhere Near Japan is great.
Oh, I love Somewhere Near Japan.
Yeah.
David, what do you think?
Yes, 100%. All the new material. I was just talking to my wife about this album last night and saying, had they waited one more year, they would have had an album of all new material. Not whether or not all the material would have been great. I mean, Problem Child, their version of Crocodile Rock, which I thought was pretty good.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
So you take those and you take off the old songs and just make it a new album. If you wait a year, that I think it would have been a lot more interesting. But the songs that are on it, Somewhere Near Japan is like listening to the Beach Boys at U2 and Fleetwood Mac level in the here it's 1989 and they put that out. Yeah. And to me, it was as good as anything else I was listening to on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of one in particular. Raul and the Dukes says Still Cruising, Kokomo, Somewhere Near Japan, Make It Big, all amazing, just not top tier. I do not agree. I think
they are.
I think vocally, well, he may be looking at it from a songwriting standpoint, in context of that. But I think from a vocal execution and how they utilize their voices, and that was Terry Melcher. He had that vision of making sure everybody got a vocal part and making it a Beach Boys recording so that everyone got their moment. And man, I think it's masterfully done. When you talk about these songs, Island Girl. Listen, the way Carl brings all these songs to life, Somewhere Near Japan when he sings. The album, I think these songs are so great is because of Carl is kind of the vocal foundation.
Make It Big is like one of his most amazing vocals ever.
Yes, right there, Greg, right there.
I'm doing it for old time's sake.
Yeah.
Even though you're gonna break my heart one more time.
It's just, good Lord. I can listen to that. Well, actually, the next album I'll talk about because that's when I feel the loss of Carl is on the next album.
All right, Matt, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, the next one came out August 3rd, 1992. It is maybe it's unfairly maligned. I don't know. I don't know it well enough, but some people like it too. It's called Summer in Paradise.
Let's do. That has the. Does that have the Stamos?
It does.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my cop-out.
Do Lahaina Aloha.
Every word I say could make you laugh. I talk forever.
Have mercy.
Have mercy.
That's Greg and the Rippers.
I asked the sky just what we had.
You got it, dude.
Hey, guys, cut it out.
Cut it out. Yeah.
So,
Matt, Summer in Paradise. We got to do a show on this.
I need to be more learned on this, so I'm gonna pass and let David take this one.
No,
I need to listen to it all.
No, David wanted to pass. You're not allowed to pass.
Two things about this album.
Mm-hmm.
One is if you look at it as a Mike Love solo project, it's a lot better. And two, Carl, when I hear Carl singing on Lahaina Aloha, I want to, but I can't stay. And Mike is saying bye bye. To me, when I hear that song, and it's a pretty good song, it's like I'm hearing Carl say, "I'm dying. I can't. I'm not going to be here any longer." Even though he died years later, when I now listen to that song, that's the feeling I have. I want to, but I can't stay. And
heavy,
so
heavy
it's heavy when I feel that. So, but I really like that song. I think that one and Strange Things Happen are good recordings.
I got to check it out. I'll be honest. I know the title track. I know they did a cover of Under the Boardwalk and Hot Fun in the Summertime, but I don't know that album very well, so I need to listen to it again.
What kind of fan are you? I know every single song on there. I know.
How about play a different one then? Go ahead.
I don't want to right now. I don't want to right now. I'm allowed to say I don't want to.
He could play surfing. He could play surfing again because they did it.
They did that too.
I just don't want to. That's why I don't want to play any
He doesn't want to.
All right, fair enough.
It's Greg. He's just formed a group. Greg
we got two left, but we're gonna.
He's too big now.
We got two left, but we're gonna skip over this one. The next one, it was a compilation they did with country singers.
Yeah,
Stars and Stripes. Let's skip that one. The last album we're going to talk about is, I think, for a 50th anniversary reunion album, it's very good. Of course, it's missing Carl and Dennis, which is tough, but the remaining Beach Boys sing well on it, and there's some very solid songwriting on it, in my opinion. That's why God made the radio.
That's why God made the radio. To ride it everywhere you go. He waved his hands, gave a rock and roll, the sound that they're falling in love. That's why God made the radio. Tuning in the latest stars.
Oh man, dang it. I need to learn this one.
From the dashboard
Yeah, hold
of
on.
my car.
Oh, dang it. Here it is. Tuning in the latest star from the dashboard of my car. It's paradise when I'm up the antenna, capturing memories from afar in my car. Everybody.
That's what's why I got made the radio.
Man, I suck.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you know, when this came out, I was real excited. I listened to it a lot. The last 3 songs on it are awesome. Isn't It Time is awesome. The title track is awesome. My favorite song on the whole album, though, is Shelter. I love that song. I love the break in the middle. I know that there's some auto tune on that album, but these guys are in their 70s at the time. But I think overall, for what it is, you know, I'd give it an 8, and I really enjoy it a lot. I need to listen to it again, actually.
Yeah, David, that's why God made the radio.
Why don't you run away and spend some time with me?
Oh yeah,
great.
From there and
song.
back again. Yep.
From there to back again. That when I had a advance for review and setting up interviews with the guys, and I remember just driving in my car.
Look at that humble brag.
and having the Al's voice and the whistling and everything. And I was just talking about Line Aloha and Carl's, you know, I Can't Stay, and that feeling that I get when I hear him singing that, and hearing Al say, why don't you run, come on over and let's go back to the past, and we'll do it one more time. And, you know, and that felt like that connector, that deep connector, to say it's okay to miss Carl, you know, and Dennis. They're not coming back, but just come on, spend some time with us. And the whole album is like that. The whole album has this, come on, you know, sit with us at the campfire, hang out, and listen for a while. And it crystallizes for me in that song. And actually the vinyl, anyone who likes that album, get the vinyl version, because they rearrange the tracks. So when you listen to the album, it's different. All the Brian tracks are side 2.
Oh, cool.
It's almost like the Today album on purpose. So the different sequence than what's on the CD. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to check that out. Yeah.
Love this album. Love doing this.
I give it a 10.
David, thank you. Thank you for sticking around for us. This was very helpful. We had Carrie got sick late, so we kind of had to scramble, but this was a really fun show, and I really appreciate all you folks out there that hung with us and played along and shared your thoughts on these albums. And it's really great, Matt. I mean, we didn't intend to do this, but it was nice to look back on all this music and all these albums, and it's once again reminded me again that I need to go listen to Carl and the Passions. I need to go. I need to go dig into Summer in Paradise, because if the past has told me anything, for example, Holland and this show, I need to give it another listen, because I think I'm going to like it. Matt, any closing thoughts for our guests here and our friends? And
well, as Greg said, thank you, David, and thank you all of you for really being active in the chat tonight. It was a lot of fun. Same thing though, Greg. When you review every album, it kind of reminds you, like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, or I need to listen to that again. Yeah. So it almost like rejuvenated me to go out and start listening to the, you know what I mean, the Beach Boys again, kind of hardcore, you know. And so I'm really looking forward to tomorrow when I can do that. So yeah.
David, any closing thoughts?
It's just reminding people to go and check out the 2 CD set, the Beach Boys Party, Uncovered and Unplugged. And to get, if they like That's Why God Made the Radio, to buy it on vinyl to get that, or to look it up on vinyl and make their own sequence to match that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Now, thank you, David. Now, Matt, we have next week off, and we're sorry, just the way things work. But the week after that, we have 2 more shows, and then 2 more shows, and then we're taking a break for the season, so we can get better. We're gonna work on the show. We're gonna work on the production side, so that when we start again, it's kind of next level, because we really believe in this. We're excited. But we couldn't do anything without all of you out there that are watching this, whether you're watching it live right now, all of our friends out there, or you're watching it after the fact, which we know a lot of folks do. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for sticking with us. We didn't want to cancel today. We wanted to still have our show and be with the people we love, and we love all of you very much. So have a great night, everybody. Brother Matt, Brother David, thank you for being here. Love you guys. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all in a couple weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
For some fun shows. Right? It's gonna be fun.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees. Go Indians. No, go Guardians. All right. Bye, everybody.